Today on Dr. Phil, they've dated for over 3 years.
I want to see a ring on my finger or goodbye.
He says he's not ready.
I've been burned. I do not want it to happen again.
Will he commit or quit?
You need to make up your mind.
You gonna marry this girl?
And a wedding shocker
You found out you married somebody that was still married.
with an unbelievable twist.
Are you still intimate with him? This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
It matters to you. That's what I want to talk about. Are we ready in the booth? Let's do it. Go, Dr. Phil. So he loves me. He loves me not. He loves me. He loves me not. I don't know if he loves me. Wouldn't it be great if there was a formula to get your man to commit? Now, after 3 years of dating, Josie and Curry are on opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to marriage. Will he commit or will she have to quit? Now, here's what Josie has to say.
Curry and we've been dating for over 3 years. I wanted to be married, but he will not pop the question. He won't commit. I tell Curry either commit, quit, or hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back. I do not want to waste 5 or 10 years. My time clock is ticking. He tells me he can't live without me. He loves me a lot. But what's the problem? I don't understand. What is the problem? I'm gonna leave him. I'm not gonna put up with this anymore. I'm done.
Well, her boyfriend Curry claims that his ex-wife is holding him back. Take a look.
What's my problem? Why can't I commit? Josie is the whole package. She's marriage material. She's smoking hot. Come on. I'm sure there's 10 guys waiting behind me right now willing to jump at the chance. Reason number one, I've been married and divorced before. I've been burned. I do not want it to happen again. Reason number two, I'm taking on the responsibilities of another person's livelihood. A little bit scary to me. Reason number three, things are great now, but what happens after we get married, and what if things change? I've seen it happen before in my last marriage, and I don't want that to happen again. If something doesn't change soon, she's gonna dump me.
Well, Josie and Curry, come on out. Let's see what they have to say. Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Hi, Dr.
Josie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Have a seat.
Oh.
Oh. So, sounds to me like you're in a lot of trouble.
I'm in big trouble.
So,
And
you are you're tired of waiting.
Right.
How long have you been waiting?
Over 3 years.
Over 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay, why have you done that? Why have you sat around for 3 years waiting for him to get it in gear?
I thought I'll give him a break, but that's been a long break.
That is a long break,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, what is it about her that just doesn't do it for you?
Look, this audience is going to lambaste me. I just know it. But,
Hey, they call them as they see them.
you know, it's nothing about her that doesn't do it for me, believe me.
I don't believe you.
Oh, no.
No, I mean, seriously, if she was the right one for you, you would think you would do that, right?
Yeah. Logically
yeah.
speaking, yeah, I suppose.
But you don't. You know she wants to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think she's a nice person?
Absolutely. She's wonderful.
Do you think she's a sweetheart?
Absolutely.
Is she kind?
Absolutely.
Does she do things for you?
Yeah.
Do you love her?
Yeah.
Do you think she's attractive?
Oh, come on. She's smoking hot.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically, if you marry her, you'd be marrying way over your head.
I'd be married up. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, no, seriously, I know that. I mean, people say that to me all the time. I mean, they say, clearly, They think she's a trophy wife, but we're only 3 years apart. I mean, you get this is a good deal.
Absolutely, and it is. And let me back up a little bit here if I can. But you know,
you've been backing up for 3 years. But go ahead.
When we met, things have been great. We have a great time together. She rides on the back of the motorcycle with me. We go hiking. She does all kinds of great stuff together with me, and it's been great. She's got her place, I got my place. We get together and things are good. But then, you know, the economy hit. I got laid off, and times are tough. And a position opened up in Vegas, and so
you moved to Vegas, and now you have a long-distance relationship.
So now,
and you think that's not going to work?
I'm faced with, you know, I have a decision that I need to make. But the issues that I dealt with in my previous marriage, it's just kind of holding me back, and
well, you know,
I don't know what to do.
Well, actually, I'm going to help you with that. But I didn't bring you here today to force this. You don't want to force him into it, right?
No.
If he doesn't want you...
He doesn't want to then.
You accept that, right? It's not that he doesn't want to, it's that he doesn't want you.
Right.
That's what it boils down to, right? I mean, I just call him the way I see him. No, here.
No, seriously.
Seriously. Here's the deal. Have you held back, or have you given him your best?
I gave him my best.
So you've been all that you can be.
Right.
And you put your heart into it.
Right.
You've been passionate about it.
Right.
You've loved, you've committed.
Yes, I love him, I care about him, he means everything to me.
Okay, and based on results, that hasn't been good enough.
Right. And if he's gonna keep up with this result, I'm gonna have to dump him and move on.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Ouch.
Now see, you don't like the way this sounds. I understand. Now we put a poll up on the website, because we put y'all's story up on our website before you ever got here, and we said, should Curry marry Josie? You can go to Dr. Phil right now and vote, should Curry commit or quit? All right, so I want you to vote online. You can go there right now. We're going to get back to that in a minute. Now, you said something that I thought was a very valid question, and I'm going to answer it for you. You said, there's no reason why I shouldn't marry her. I just can't decide, and I don't know why. Would you like to know why?
Yeah,
I can tell you why, because here's the I'm going to tell you that after the break. But here's what it amounts to. She has given you her absolute best. And based on results, you've said it's not good enough.
Well, I didn't actually say that to her. I mean,
I said, based on results, you've said she's not good enough. And that's what you're hearing, right? I mean, that's what you get.
Right.
Because you put your best out there, and he said, no, not so much.
Yeah,
Pass.
yeah.
Right? Dr. Phil, it doesn't have anything to do with her. It really doesn't. I mean...
So don't take it personal.
No, what I mean is...
Is that what you're saying? Don't take it personal that he won't marry you.
It really doesn't have anything to do... I mean...
That's what I don't understand.
Would you like to understand?
Yes.
Would you like to understand?
Yeah.
After the break, I'm going to make it exceedingly clear.
Tomorrow on Dr. Phil. She's spoiled.
Instead of playing with marbles, Chelsea would play with diamonds and rubies.
She's a moocher.
Did you steal from your grandmother?
Yeah,
Did you get your brother's credit card and run up $11,000?
I did.
And she's blaming her family.
You keep criticizing them because they're rich.
They won't let me do the things I want to do in life.
So you steal $50,000 in a BMW?
That's tomorrow.
I was married for 15 years. It was terrible. Really bad marriage. Just awful. The intimacy definitely went away. We don't want that again. I don't want to experience going through a divorce again. There's absolutely no similarities from my ex-wife to Josie. The polar opposite. We've never lived together. What if we're not compatible? What if she hates the way I brush my teeth, or vice versa, or something like that, you know?
Okay, where are you from?
I'm from Lebanon,
Lebanon?
the Middle East, yes.
And you've been here how long?
Over 20 years.
Over 20 years?
Yes.
And you've known Curry for how long?
Over 3 years.
So over 3 years. And you're totally committed, you're in love with him, you want to marry him.
Yes, I do.
Now, y'all aren't living together because
No.
you just feel like that's not the right thing to do.
Yeah, I feel it's not right to live together. It's just my belief. I know it might work for somebody else, for other people, but it doesn't work for me. I feel he has to be married to me.
Right.
That's how I feel.
Okay. And so you moved from Seattle to Vegas for your job. And do you miss her?
Absolutely.
You miss her every day?
Yeah, I miss her every day.
Yeah. Would you miss her really bad if she rode off into the sunset with somebody that could make a decision?
Yeah, that would definitely break my heart. I think about it every day, and
Yeah.
you know, sometimes I sit and I think, come on, let's just do it. What am I waiting for? What am I waiting for? And then something clicks in the back of my head, and I just go, oh, that whole stigma of what happened in the past, and I know that's wrong. She's not like my ex at all.
Let me tell you what's clicking in the back of your head, because you may not be aware of this. But see, we don't react to what happens in the world. We don't react to what we see. We don't react to who we're with. We react to what we say to ourselves about what we see. Okay, so, you know, you see a picture, you don't react to the picture. You say, I like it or I don't like it, and based on what you say, that's how you react. And you've been married before, and it didn't work out right. And so you have what I call tapes. It's like elevator music that runs in your head all the time.
Yeah.
You have tapes about women. Now, they were actually beliefs just about your ex, but you've actually generalized them to other women. Would you agree?
I suppose you're right. Yeah.
Well, let's just think about it. All right, I brought this out because I'm going to write it down for you, because since it's taken you 3 years to figure this out, I thought that you might need to see this in black and white.
I appreciate that.
Okay, now, I wrote down, you said your ex-wife lied to you, right? And so if you've generalized that, then you have a tape that says women lie. That's one of your concerns, right? She manipulated you, correct? So you have a tape in your head that says women manipulate, right? You said that she threatened you all the time. So you say women threaten, okay? You said she criticized you. So you say women are critical. Okay? You said she attacked you, verbally, emotionally, right? That she was abusive. So you say women are abusive and attack. Okay? You said that you were afraid. So you apparently think women are scary. Okay? Now, I could go on and on and on. And one of the things you said that really stuck out to me, when all of this was going on, you said you were helpless to change it. So here's this guy walking around in the world just saying women lie, women are manipulative, women are threatening, women are critical, women are abusive. And then here comes you.
Yes.
And so he looks at you with all of this elevator music playing in his head.
Not a pretty music.
Not a pretty music. Not a pretty music. It's all about you. I mean, you didn't do any of this, did you?
No, none.
Did she lie to you?
No, absolutely
manipulate
not.
you?
Never.
Threaten you? Criticize you? Attack you? Abuse you? Scare you? Make you feel helpless or trapped?
She did scare me when I met her, because, I mean, look at her.
Yeah, that ain't what you ought to be scared about. You ought to be scared about that several million people are seeing her on national television right now and getting to know that she is available. Oh, man. Oh, you're killing me. And you know the thing that gets me the most out of all of this? You're happy to be out of your marriage, right? You're happy that your ex is gone?
Yeah, absolutely.
She is controlling you and dominating you this very second. She owns you.
Yes.
She owns you.
I never thought of that. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
She is coming
That's true.
between you and her right now.
That's true.
Never thought of it that way, but you're right.
She owns you. You said she manipulated you before. She's manipulating you right now.
I don't know what to say. I had all this stuff planned that I was going to say to you when I came out here, and now I'm speechless.
Because he's right.
What am I going to say to that?
Well, I don't know, dummy.
See, this is what I was afraid of.
I mean, seriously. She owns you. You're like a marionette. And she gets you over there close to her, and she jerks you back.
Oh, boy. I never thought of it that way before.
How am I doing?
You are absolutely right. 100%. I agree with you. More than 110%. I love that.
Yeah.
I just hope you absorb it.
I'm taking it in, baby.
We'll be right back. Let's check on our poll online. 46% of online voters think Curry should commit, and 54% think they should call it quits.
Wow.
You know why?
Why is that?
They're thinking if you got to talk him into it, don't bother. Don't bother. Yeah. And you know, I've said it before, marriage is hard enough.
Right.
If two people are kicking, fighting, and scratching to get to each other.
Right.
I mean, if he's willing to climb the mountain, swim the stream, slay the dragon, and fight his way to your door, and if you got to track him down like a cheetah on a gazelle, then I guarantee you women are thinking, if he wants you, he better come get you.
Right, right.
Is what they're saying. Am I right?
Right.
I mean, that's what women are thinking.
Yeah. And you know what? I get that. And I figured the majority of people would think that. But the thing is things were great when we were together up in Seattle. And really, honestly, the only thing that tore us apart was the fact that I needed a job. And kind of secretly, I was hoping she'd come with me to Vegas. And that hasn't happened yet. It's been a month and a half. I just moved there.
And it's not going to happen. I'm not going to move to Vegas. I am not. I am not.
Here's the thing. You just said, so I'm just trying to help you here, guy to guy. Forget about these guys.
I'm with
Just
you.
Okay. You said in Seattle everything was great for you.
Yeah.
It wasn't great for her. Am I right?
Right. You're right.
Because she's sitting there thinking, why am I not enough for him?
Yeah.
Why am I not good enough?
But she is.
No.
She
I'm telling you
is.
what she's thinking.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what she's thinking. This is what you're thinking. And she's thinking, I didn't do anything to him. I didn't lie to him. I didn't manipulate him. I didn't criticize him. I didn't hurt him. I didn't trap him. All I did was love him.
Right.
And whatever I have to offer, it apparently isn't good enough.
And that makes me frustrated.
Well,
it makes me mad. It makes me angry sometimes. It's like, why? What did I do to deserve this? I don't deserve this. You know, and I don't want to put up with this anymore. I get to a point right now, I'm done. I'm done. There is plenty of other guys around.
Babe, honestly, babe, you need to know that it's not you. It doesn't have anything to do with you. All these guys are chiming in. I can hear them right now. But seriously, between you and I, it's not. You are enough for me, honestly. And I'm taking all this in, honestly. The past couple days that we've spent together talking about all this stuff really, honestly, makes me realize all the things that I do love about you.
I know, but I want to see a ring on my finger soon, or goodbye. I am done. I'm done. I'm just telling you how I feel. 3.5 years, it's enough. It's enough.
You're not getting any younger.
I'm not.
Feel it, biological clock ticking?
Yes. Yes.
That's what she's thinking.
Yes.
That's what she's thinking. I'm not saying you're getting old, but I'm telling him what you're thinking.
I am thinking that. He's right. He's absolutely right. I am thinking that. And I don't want to deal with that anymore. And I don't want to be laying in bed at night thinking about it or thinking when I'm going to see you again. I can't fly and see you to Vegas back and forth. I have a job. And it wastes a lot of money. I can't do that anymore. I can't. You need to make up your mind soon or done. I'm done.
So, you're going to let her inspire you, or you're going to let her control you?
I think I'm going to take the first part.
Yeah. You going to marry this girl?
You're trying to get me to do this on
not.
national TV here.
No, I'm not. I am not. I am not. Forget the rose petals. That's not. There's nothing to do with it. I'm not. I'm just saying. That's her question. She's saying put up or shut up. You don't have to do it right now.
Okay.
You have to do it right now. I'm not trying to trap you into something here at all.
Okay.
But I want you to know that she feels like she has put up enough, and it's time for you to match it or walk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
True?
it's true. Or hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more.
Stuff.
Yeah, I had to get to this point.
All right. You need to give this some thought. Now, I'm going to talk to you before the end of the show.
Okay.
All right, next, we're going to meet a woman who thought she was having a dream wedding, that she was marrying the love of her life, and she discovered it was all just a big lie.
John gave me a fairy tale wedding. It was beautiful. All our friends, our family, it was just perfect. But our marriage was not real. I just can't trust him.
The ring, the dress, and madly in love with the man of her dreams. Melissa thought she had the ultimate commitment until she discovered that the entire wedding was fake.
Everything about our marriage and relationship had been a lie from day one. I met John about 2 years ago. He swept me off my feet, and we were just all gung-ho about getting married. I went dress shopping. It just went hog wild. John initially told me that he was married twice. Right before the wedding, I found out that he had a third wife, and he's been divorced for about 2 years. At that point, it was too late emotionally to go back. All I wanted to do was go forward because I was so in love with this guy. John gave me a fairy tale wedding. It was beautiful. The fish pond, the DJ was awesome. The head table was gorgeous. All our friends, our family, it was just perfect. I never saw our marriage certificate. I just had a gut feeling. I asked him for months, can I see it? Can I see it? He's like, no, my sister has it. Finally, I just drove myself into the courthouse. I said, well, can you tell me if I'm married? So they looked up John's name and saw the first marriage, saw the second marriage, saw the third marriage. First two were divorced, the third one still married. I was betrayed by him because our marriage was not real. I waited a long time to fall in love with someone, but it's not real love. He lies all the time. My heart's still connected to him, but the trust part is what separates me giving him my heart. He says he loves me, but if you love someone, you don't do the things that he's done. I just can't trust him.
Okay, so in August of '09, you have this beautiful wedding, but you never saw the marriage certificate.
No. He's like, don't worry about it. I have a friend, you know, who can get our paperwork. We'll be fine. And, you know, we'll sign it and send it in. I didn't really know legalities of things, so I'm like, cool. You know, I'll do my thing down here. We'll get the paperwork. We'll sign it at the wedding, and we'll have it. We'll be good.
And his sister married you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would ask him about this, and he would just get mad when you were leading up to it, because at first you thought he had been married once, then twice, then 3 times.
Yeah.
This unfolded across time. He didn't tell you about 3 times to begin with?
Not until the third one he didn't tell me about until after he snagged me. After he got my heart and I started really liking him, and I'm like, you know what, good people mess up. He's never met someone like me. I'm special, I'm different. And, you know, maybe this is the time to give him a new start.
You found pictures of him with a woman.
Yeah.
Compromising pictures, and you said, he said this is just somebody he dated.
Because I don't remember her name. I don't know who she is.
Doesn't remember her name?
Found a wedding band, a trinket box with I love you, the whole 9 yards. I was like...
But this woman he couldn't remember the name of turned out to be his third wife?
Yeah.
Of 14 years?
Well, they were together. I think I said that wrong, but it was a total of 14 years they were together, but they were married for almost 10.
But he couldn't remember her name?
Nope.
And
I know her name.
yeah, so when you found out that you married somebody that was still married, he wasn't subject to criminal charges because it wasn't a real wedding.
I don't know what he told his sister, but she went online and supposedly she took a test to be able to marry someone. But later on down the road, we had dinner, and she says, you know, I knew about, you know, things with John and the other one, you know, his third wife, and I was going to tell you if he didn't tell you soon. But I don't know at what point she knew.
He told you that he graduated from the University of Alabama?
Yeah.
Did he?
No.
No?
No, he never went to college. He said he blew his knee out, and he lost his scholarship through the rest of Alabama, and he never even went to college.
Well, because we talked to the University of Alabama, and they gave us a statement. The school was unable to locate either a degree or an enrollment record for the subject of your verification request. So he didn't go there. Has he told you now that he didn't go there?
Well, because I unraveled it.
Well, you're going to hear what John has to say next. We'll be right back.
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil. It's Avery's first birthday.
Repeat after me. You can't change what you don't acknowledge.
Which grandparent
This is good for you.
That's my screen.
is the better babysitter?
All right, good match.
Plus, she's lost over 100 pounds,
Think she looks good?
but hasn't gained enough compliments from her husband.
Do not pause when I ask you this stuff. I am lobbing you softballs, buddy.
That's Monday.
This is our wedding band that we had picked out together. I went to an appraiser to see how much the ring was worth, and I find out that it's cubic zirconia. It's not even real. He said he paid $900 for it. He said the gold was real and the diamonds on the side were real. I said all you had to do was tell me you couldn't afford it. As long as it was a real ring, I didn't care what size it was, as long as it came from your heart, because it meant something. It was just another lie.
Well, the ring wasn't the only fake thing about her wedding. It turns out that Melissa's entire marriage was a sham because he was still married to somebody else. Now, we interviewed John over the phone, and he agreed to be on the show, but then he changed his mind.
Several times.
Several
Back
times.
and forth.
In fact, you changed your mind several times.
Because of him manipulating me, that it would ruin my life and my daughter's life. I said, I have nothing to lose, you do.
Well, he admits to lying about his divorce, and he also said that I basically lied to Melissa about how many times I was married, the fact that I was still married, and how long I was married. I lied about everything. I kept lying because I was afraid to lose her. If I told her the truth, she wouldn't have stayed with me. I even lied to my sister and told her I had the marriage license when I didn't. I don't even think my sister knew that I wasn't divorced yet. It's not in my personality to lie, but once I lied, I had to keep lying to cover it up. That's what he said.
He's only done it for 2 years.
So you don't have anything to do with him now?
The only reason I have anything to do with him right now is because financially I can't do it. And that's the only reason. And I have a 13-year-old daughter. And I feel like I'm going to fail her. It's the main reason why I talk to him. Because he calls me every day. He doesn't even give me a chance to call him. He doesn't give me a chance to heal. He just is just calling all the time. I miss you, I love you. I'm like, John, you're not giving me a chance. I can't even tell if I miss you or even ever love you again. I don't know.
I got a bell going off in my head here. Are you still intimate with him?
We have been, yes.
Even after everything you found out?
And the main reason for that is because neglected me for a long time, and it almost felt good to be wanted or hugged or caressed, even if there was no emotion involved with him. And I might as well do it with him and not someone else. I'm not like that. I hear ya. My friends think the same thing.
Well, Melissa's best friend and bridesmaid, Roxanne, is here. She says that they shouldn't stay together. So what do you think about this?
As this started happening and unraveling, I thought, wow, this guy really loves her. And as things kept unfolding and I kept learning more about what John has put Melissa through and how much he contacts her constantly, he manipulates her, he's controlling her. I think now that she's gone, he's going into this mode, a panic mode. He doesn't have her to control anymore. So she definitely needs to get the distance and move on.
Have you talked to him since you've been here? How did that come to pass?
I'm a big person on telling the truth, and I didn't tell him what I ended up making the decision to come. And last night I called him because I was on the plane already, so he couldn't stop me this time because it took forever to even get here. Trust me, we went back and forth and he kept stopping me, and I finally got on the plane and I'm like, I have to tell you something. So I told him, and he just went irate. I just can't believe you lied to me. I'm like, I've been real with you. I've given you my heart. I've given you everything I have in my heart and love you so much. And you're going to get on me about lying one time. And I just told you the truth the next day because I can't hold it back anymore.
Well, isn't that kind of the pot calling the kettle black? I mean, did you say that to him?
I told him, I say, you're just, like, ridiculous.
Well, if he wanted this situation to work, then wouldn't you think that he would been the first one through the door here and sat down and said, Dr. Phil, I have messed up. I want to make this right. Tell me what I need to do. Wouldn't you think he would have leaned into this instead of run away from it?
We found out our cat had diabetes, severe diabetes, and then it just fell right into his lap. We can't go.
Because your cat was sick.
Yeah. And I'm like, John, you know what?
Is he a veterinarian?
No.
Our staff has talked to him, I don't know, dozens of times. 40, 50 times. And I'm told that he came up with this cat story. They offered to board the cat for him. They offered to get a veterinarian to oversee everything and take care of the cat in your absence. They took away every obstacle. And it just seemed like he just thought, I'm not going to come here because Dr. Phil's going to ask me questions I don't have.
He didn't want to get thrown under the bus, he said. He didn't want to be humiliated. He didn't want to lose his business. He coaches softball. He didn't want to jeopardize that. I'm like, if you really loved me, you would do whatever it took. Well,
but you are here, and I hope you're glad you're here because
I love you. You're so smart. Like, you see things, and you just by the first set of people, I'm just like, oh, like I didn't think it that way.
Yeah.
You just have a way of like reaching in and pulling out without even trying.
Well, obviously an intelligent woman. Oh
my God.
I would very much like to get you some help there at home. Someone that you can sit down without him, not marriage counseling, not couples counseling, but just you and if your daughter, if you want at some point, to sit down and get your focus, get your bearings back on your self-esteem, your self-worth, and recognize that this isn't about you. He brought this toxicity to you, and you need to rise above that and decide what you're going to do with your life. And I want to get you some help to do that. This is a very important first step. And I hope women that are out there that are seeing warning signs and don't want to see them because they don't want them to be true, take a lesson from what you're saying. You're using your life here, and I think that's a great thing. If you had this to do over again, you wouldn't deny those warning signs.
No.
I'm proud that you came. I'm proud that you're using your life and telling this story. And I'm proud that you're standing up on your own. And thank you for coming with us. Okay? So we're going to get you some help with this because I think you need it.
Pretty much.
Okay? All right, fair enough. All right, I'm going to talk to another couple here in a minute that says the happiest day of their life turned into the worst experience of their life when the wedding planner scammed them out of $30,000. We'll be right back.
A woman who served time for pretending to have cancer and scamming people for money to pay medical bills now faces charges for a new scam that targeted engaged couples.
Tanya Clark was arrested Friday night, accused of taking nearly $30,000 from another couple, promising them a grand wedding at the Canyons Resort.
This is just a nightmare scenario. So you guys get engaged and you think, we need a wedding planner.
Yes.
You had forked over $30,000.
Yes. It was devastating.
This is just unbelievable. So this woman had been in jail for another scam before this. So she's just a con artist. How did she find you or you find her?
Well, I went on to a wedding website and requested some information, and she contacted me through that and said she only works on references and referrals, and she provided me with 4 to 6 references, and I contacted them, and we met with her, and she was nice. We let her into our home. I cooked for her. We were friends.
And she paid for a lot of the things that she lined up with a stolen credit card?
Yes.
So that meant those things weren't really paid for.
Nothing was paid for.
Nothing.
So you had to pay for all of that.
Again, yes.
And then you had to pay extra for what wasn't done.
Yes.
Think of all the couples that are watching this right now. They're thinking, oh my gosh, references seem legitimate, got burned for 30, ultimately 50,000 bucks. What's the lesson here? What would you do differently?
Oh, everything.
Run to Vegas?
Yeah.
He would. He tried to get me to run, but I'm like, no, I want a wedding. Yeah. I mean, I waited so long to meet the man of my dreams, and she took the one experience that all women are supposed to have and smashed it to pieces. So what I would do differently is not hire her.
Yeah.
I would not hire her. I would run away as well. I wouldn't do this again.
This has got to be putting stress on you guys. Has it affected the way you two get along?
It's not easy. I mean, the money situation's really tough because we didn't plan on starting our life together being broke and in debt, so that's a little tough.
It's one thing to lose the day. It's another thing to lose the money. But if you lose the relationship because the stress gets you and you just start barking at each other just out of frustration, that would be the real tragic loss here. And it's what's called non-directional venting. You know, it's like you're really mad at her. You're really mad at things that have nothing to do with the two of you, but because you're handy, you just kind of can take it out on each other. And you got to really guard against doing that. You got to really say, look, we don't have enough money here. I mean, clearly, all of a sudden, we're $50,000 in debt, and our hearts are hurting. We're upset about this, but we just can't take it out on each other. And you got to recognize when that's happening and just say, hey, wait a minute, this is exactly what Dr. Phil talked about. This is exactly what he said. I haven't got closure on this yet. It's still an open wound, and I'm so upset, and I'm taking it out on you, and I'm sorry. Let's not do that. Let's just stop this. Let's go walk around the block. Let's go do something different. I mean, you got to label it so you don't do it, because this too will pass, and you will have a great story to tell your grandkids. I mean, seriously.
Got to meet you.
Just think when your daughters get married or your sons get married, you can say, oh, okay, sit down, because we're going to talk about this. You're going to Vegas.
Yeah. And we're coming.
I mean, you've got a story to tell, but you don't want to lose the relationship in this, right? Okay, now not only did Nate and Tina pay $30,000 to the planner, they had to pay the vendors 20 grand. Obviously, they opted for no honeymoon because they were broke at that point. So I decided that they could use one, and so did the folks at Rancho Valencia Resort and Spa in Rancho Santa Fe, California. So we're going to fly you guys there so you can have that honeymoon that you've been wanting. And it is a spectacular. Look at this place. It is unbelievable. 3 days and 2 nights in the Garden Oasis, spa treatments, breakfast, dinner, everything. We want you to look back on your honeymoon with good thoughts. So at least we can put a little bit of silver lining around this. This is a terrific, terrific place, okay?
Thank you.
All right, fair enough. We'll be right back. Well, so Curry, have you been thinking about this? Have we scared you away with these wedding nightmares here?
No, no, really not. I feel really bad for these folks, man. That's just a terrible deal. I commented, I said, man, I'm glad we're not the ones in that position.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
This is...
Your turn.
No, you keep looking at me like I'm wanting you to propose to her or something, and actually I'm not. What I want you to do is I really want you to go home. I want you to be very, very thoughtful about this. I want you to think about what I said. Take your power back from this woman you were married to and do what's right for you and what's right for her. And you're at a point that you either need to marry her or you need to respect her enough to tell her and let her go. So I hope you guys will be very thoughtful about this.
I appreciate that.
Take your power back. Don't make her pay for the sins of one that's gone before her.
Because it's not her fault.
Because she didn't do it.
At all.
She didn't do that stuff. All she's doing is sitting there loving you.
Yeah.
And so you need to be thoughtful about this, and then you need to let us know exactly what y'all are going to do.
Yes.
All right?
Yes, thank you.
Now, if you want to know what to do to be safe in planning your wedding or a party, you can go to drphil.com. We're going to have some very important guidelines for you there. And if you are in a commitment crisis, you can go to drphil.com. You can click on Be on the Show. You can tell us your story. We deal with all kinds of issues here. So go there, write us a letter, and you could be right here on stage, hopefully working things out. I want to thank all of my guests for being here today. Thanks, guys. So long.
Today on Dr. Phil, are you passive or aggressive?
I get frustrated with people like this.
It's all about you.
Exactly.
Who's your perfect match?
There is one thing that she really needs to do.
Take the personality quiz and find out.
We did a little hidden camera test on this audience.
And see how we turn the tables on Dr. Phil.
This expert snooped in my office, and we're going to reveal what it said about my personality. This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
It matters to you. That's what I want to talk about. Are we ready in the booth?
Take.
Let's do it. Okay, it's always interesting to know what's going on stage before the show starts. Sometimes Anthony will bring up the party people to get us going, and it's always a certain type of person. I'm going to go out and talk about who it is. Let's see what this says about these folks. You know, I'm always paying attention to what sometimes people don't know I'm paying attention to. And today we're paying attention to people's personalities. And it's a certain kind of personality that comes up here and dances around. See, all of y'all are likely to be what we call extroverts. You think? I mean, and really 75% of the people are extroverts. They're excellent networkers. They're really assertive, and you guys would be interested to know that the majority of CEOs, the bosses, are extroverts. Politicians are extroverts. People that are leading are often extroverts. And you guys probably qualify for that category right now. Okay, go sit down for a minute. Interestingly enough, I've been paying attention to all of you guys, too. Because today we just opened the doors and said, sit anywhere you want to sit. Now, there's a fair amount of research, actually, about this kind of thing. And I watched y'all come in. The middle are often kind of shy people. They just kind of get where they can blend, right? You don't want to be in front. You don't want to be in back. Those of you close to the exit have seen the show before. Let's get out of here. Really, people are often in a rush. They look, they go in with the mindset, what's the quickest way out of here when this is over? And then the front, you got extroverts. People that want to get up front so they can see everything, maybe get involved. Personality is interesting, don't you think? Everybody has a different personality. I mean, we're all unique in some way. And one of the things that I want to clear up while I'm talking about it is I do not have a personality test on the internet. Not on Facebook, not anywhere. So if you see that, it's a fake. However, today, we are paying attention to your personality. So all of you at home, you can go to drphil.com right now. There's a 10-question personality test there that you can take as we're doing the show. And we're actually going to score it for you right there so you can see how you kind of stack up on stuff. Now, we have an expert on the show today that's an expert on stuff. Because your stuff says a whole lot about you. This expert snooped in my office yesterday with a camera, and we're going to reveal what it said about my personality a little later. There's a tape that I want you to see of an individual that has one personality most of the time and then changes personality when he gets behind the wheel of a car.
My horn is my godsend. I just want them out of my way. And if they don't, I take my spray like that and I spray them. And it sounds stupid, but it's, you know, look at him, he's got wipers on. I get frustrated with people like this.
How fast are we going now?
80, and now we're gonna spray him. That's me telling him to get over. And some people are just clueless. Oh, it's raining. Yeah, this guy's my nemesis. He's the one I need to catch.
Here we go.
I'm aggravated right now with this guy. I don't care about the cops. I don't care about nothing except catching this fool. And I spray him. Oh, Lord. I just heard a ding, and I've already got the low wash on. You know, it's very sad, but it's a good sense of satisfaction. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, are you curious why you're that way and other people aren't?
Oh, yeah, that's why.
So you even, this isn't something that you just do reactively. You actually premeditate being pissed off.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because you say, I'm going to get in my car, and I'm going to, you're loaded for bear with your squirters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't live in Texas, do you?
No, sir.
I'm from Texas. You don't want to be squirting people in Texas. Because you know that it's estimated that a third of all crashes are associated with road rage? And 2/3 of deaths involved with crashes, those crashes are involved with road rage. Somebody gets crazy and starts jerking their wheel around and that sort of thing. How is he the rest of the time?
He's perfectly fine, very calm.
Very calm?
Yeah.
So you transform.
Oh, I switch. Yeah, I consider myself a gentleman, open the door for my wife all the time and take care of people and do the right thing for people, but I get behind the wheel and I'm a different man. I'm for real.
Really only if he has somewhere he has to be.
Yeah.
How are you in the grocery store line?
Oh, I love going shopping. I'm good, aren't I? Food, you know, I like food. I'm going shopping.
So if you've got somebody up there that can't find their checkbook or they're on the phone or they're messing around, you don't...
The only time, Dr. Phil, is if I'm hungry when we go to the grocery store. Then I'm like, hurry up so we can get home and I can eat.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm good.
But you don't pull out your pocket squirter and get him or anything like that?
No.
Because, you know, here's the deal. You have to deal with them personally then.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, is it true that you go through 3 gallons of washer fluid a week?
Minimum. I don't even buy washer fluid anymore. I just filled up the hose.
Really?
Seriously.
Each week?
Yeah.
3 gallons
Can I take those with me? I could probably use them.
Yeah. I bet you guys don't go through a gallon of this a year. And you go through 3 gallons a week?
Easy.
So
I go through a gallon a day sometimes.
Do you ever get upset if you run out?
Oh, I'm pissed. I really do get mad. I'm like, damn, I'm out now.
A long commute.
But it's an interesting personality quirk, don't you think, that this is the one place that he does this? And I've found a common denominator among the people that I've talked to about road rage, and they all seem to have the attitude that the universe revolves around them. Like you have the expectation that when you get on the road, it's supposed to separate like the Red Sea. Because you are the only one with an agenda. You are the only one that needs to get anywhere. You are the only one in a hurry. And we're going to run on, and people should just know that, okay, Brian's on the road, pull over.
Pretty much.
Is that your attitude?
A lot. And I know that speed is a bad thing for me because I did get pulled over by our lovely troopers. And, you know, when he clocked me, I was going 110. But when he clocked me, I was actually going 120 before. And I didn't even realize it because I get so entrenched in get the hell out of my way that I just floor it. And then I look down and go, I better stop. And I did get rid of a vehicle. I had a Mustang GT and convertible, and I was going in 133 down the interstate one day with the top down. And I didn't even realize it until I looked down and said, this is not probably the wisest thing in the world to do.
Yeah.
I wasn't with him.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I understand. That's why I'm here, because I want to understand.
But do you realize that you have an unrealistic expectancy set?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do.
That you pull onto the road thinking, this is supposed to be about me. They should know Brian has arrived. We're now going to run my speeds, my agenda, my traffic pattern, and that is amazingly egocentric. I mean, that's just totally about you.
Oh, I totally understand. The thing I get frustrated with, and I allow myself to get frustrated with, is when I see people texting, eating, driving with one knee, and I take that personally for some reason.
Because that's dangerous.
But I don't see what I'm
driving
doing
133,
exactly. Yeah.
which...
Yeah, exactly.
Which is much safer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily agree. I'm just sharing with you, this is my experience.
Okay, so you have one set of standards to which you measure yourself and another set to which you measure everybody else. Again, it's all about you.
Exactly.
It's okay if you do something stupid on the highway. It's not okay if they do something stupid.
Well, it's not okay, but I don't judge myself.
Did you squirt yourself?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't squirt myself. Yeah.
You should dump this on your head next time you go 133.
Yeah.
You get my point.
Yes, sir.
If you want to change this, you got to do a couple of things. One, you have to adjust your expectancy set. I mean, come on. I live in L.A.
No, I couldn't.
This is, you would be a serial killer.
I'd be dead. Yeah. One day.
I'm telling you, you've got to adjust your expectancy set. All right? And we're going to be talking more about personality as we go along. And the test that has become an online phenomenon, you're going to see what that is in a few minutes. You're going to find out if it's real or if it's kind of controversial as well, right after the break.
Monday on Dr. Phil.
When Noah throws a tantrum, I feel like a failure of a mom.
What do you do if you have a child that acts like a brat?
Whether you have one holy terror or triplets.
Get up in that bed! Hush!
Why are you yelling all the time?
I don't think I yell all the time.
We have a lot of tape.
They're saying the blessing. Bow your head.
You can brat-proof your child.
You want to know the #1 thing you're doing to sabotage this child's future?
That's Monday.
Okay, I want you to look at this dancer spinning. Now, some of you may have seen this before. Concentrate and ask yourself, is she spinning clockwise or is she spinning counterclockwise? And it makes a difference, according to this test, in terms of how you see this. And how many of you see it spinning clockwise? Okay. How many of you see it spinning counterclockwise? You know, interestingly, that's close to 50-50. Now, I believe the theory here is that if it is spinning counterclockwise, you are left brain dominant. And that means that you're logical, you're analytical, you're objective, you see things in parts instead of the whole. And if you're right-brained, it's spinning clockwise. And that means you're kind of a random thinker. You're not as linear. You deal with intuition instead of just straight analyticals. You tend to look at the whole instead of breaking it down into the parts, and you're highly subjective. Now, this has become an internet phenomenon, and while it's wildly popular, there are real questions whether or not it really means anything. But it does make you think, and it is interesting that different people see it in different ways. Now, Dr. Gosling is a professor of psychology at the University of Texas. Hook 'em horns, that's my boy, okay? University of Texas at Austin. Come on up and join us if you would. Tim, good to see you, man. Have a seat. Thank you. Now, you have written a book called Snoop. Tell us what Snoop's all about.
Well, Snoop is looking at how we can express ourselves both deliberately and unconsciously in the spaces around us, and in turn, how you can look at spaces around people and figure out what they're like. Some of it they want to tell you, which is very, and they're being authentic when they do that, but some of the things they tell you accidentally, just by the way they leave their objects on their desk and organize their books and so on.
Okay. Did I tell you some things accidentally when you went through my space?
You did, and yeah, and you also said some things, I think, you know, authentic expressions, conscious authentic expressions.
All right, we'll get to that later. I think that if you track the literature in psychology, there have been so many things written over the years about personality traits and characteristics, but it seems like there is a real consensus that there are kind of 5 big factors that describe personality right now. And that's what the test is that we put on the internet that gives you some insight into that. I'm not saying that it's perfect. Those 5 characteristics are openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. Tell us what openness means.
Well, openness is really a good test. I mean, maybe people here could answer. Imagine that you go into a restaurant, and are you the type of person when you get the menu who points to the thing that you've never seen and say, I'll have that, whatever it is? Or are you the sort of person who says, actually, I don't even need to open the menu, I'll have the spaghetti, I like what I know what I like, bring me the spaghetti.
Yeah, but what if you order something you never had and it's got snails in it or something? Then you'd be in real shit. So I wouldn't be open if I wasn't willing to do that.
That's right.
That's one of the dimensions.
Some people don't care, right.
All right, conscientiousness. What are you talking about there?
So conscientiousness is more about people who think before they act, they plan. Are you the sort of person who only replaces the toilet roll when it runs out? Or do you get some beforehand? So
planning ahead. Now, we met some extroverts up here, and most everybody knows what extroversion means. I mean, is there anything that's more subtle other than just the outgoing, engaging aspect?
Well, these people tend to be more dominant, they tend to be more active, and they really get energized by people. So everyone, many people can come to a party, but afterwards you can really tell between the introverts and the extroverts, because the introverts need to go sit down and be alone for a bit to decompress, whereas the extroverts are energized by it.
Okay, and agreeableness is kind of like Mr. Rogers versus Simon Cowell.
Exactly.
It's just how agreeable are you, and you tend to seek some point of harmony, right?
Yeah, it's really are people warm, sympathetic versus people who are going to tell it to you bluntly, and they're not going to try and hide your feelings. There's more, they're going to be direct with you.
All right, neuroticism has to do with stability, stress, worry. I mean, is this a bad thing if you're high on neuroticism?
Well, it depends what kind of a world you live in. If you're in a world full of threats, then it's good to be very alert to threats. If you're in a safe world, which most of us now, then you can get very anxious and worrying about things that aren't actually threats to you.
Okay, now some of these things that you use to kind of demonstrate this, you have a stamp demonstration. Tell me about this.
All right, well, the answer is, so who here carries spare stamps in your wallet or your bag or something like that? Raise your hand high, be proud if you carry spare stamps.
Really?
Okay, look around.
Okay, stand up. If you're a stamp carrier, really, stand up. If you're a stamp carrier.
Okay.
Really? You carry a stamp with you? This is fascinating to me. You have a whole page of them. You have 2 sets of stamps here. Did you know there would be people out here with stamps?
There usually are, but yeah.
Okay, what is this? What's your name?
Marnie.
Marnie?
Marnie.
Okay, would you say then that she is conscientious?
She would be high on conscientious, but it goes beyond that. So what's really interesting about that is not only the people who carry stamps, but reactions like yours of the people who don't. And what's... and why it's interesting...
Who does he think he's talking to? No, what do you mean?
Well, what it shows you is that personality is not only what we do, like carry stamps, but it's also how we perceive the world. And I always have this effect, is the people who do carry stamps can't believe the people who don't. They think, well, what happens when you need to mail a letter? They're kind of like...
Do you consider yourself a conscientious person? Uh-huh. So are you kind of planful?
Sometimes.
Do you get supplies before you run out of other supplies?
Yes.
Really? Okay. Now, so what do you say that it says about somebody like me who can't believe that somebody would wag a stamp with him around for 5 years and it goes out of style and it's not enough money to but you still carry it around? Well, that does shock me.
Yeah, and they have different standards.
You're just supposed to say, oh no, it looks fine.
Yeah. And people just have these different standards, which is why it's quite hard to fake it, because it's hard to see the world truly as somebody with a different personality sees the world.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we come back. Are personalities compatible? I mean, we hear about this a lot. I mean, is there a certain type you mesh with versus Nash with? And we're going to add a body language expert to weigh in on this because, listen, I believe that a very small percentage of our communications are verbal, and a whole lot of it is what we say with our body and our syntax and how we position ourselves. So we're going to talk about all of this. You're going to learn something today. We'll be right back.
Now, here we see he's looking at another woman. Look at that face. She is not happy. She's going, what? What are you doing?
My name is Darcy. I've been dating Craig for about 7 months. Craig's personality is different than mine in that he never seems to stress about anything.
She's really easygoing.
Craig's a little bit more progressive than I am.
She's a little more traditional than me.
I'm a pretty ambitious person. I would like to get married someday. I wouldn't really date anyone who I didn't think was a potential candidate.
She's a pretty cool girl.
I'm hoping to learn if Craig and I are compatible.
Okay, now right now you can go to my Facebook page and you're going to find something there about Darcy and Craig, and you're going to get to vote based on what you've seen and what you're going to see as to whether or not they think you guys are short-term or this could be the long haul. So we're going to do a little focus group on you guys while we're doing this.
Sounds good.
Okay, now, Dr. Lillian Glass is here. Now, she is a body language expert, and she has looked at this couple's compatibility on a recent date. So let's take a look at this, and then we're going to talk with Dr. Glass.
When they're walking in, there's a little bit too much distance between them. And that's not a great sign, especially with a couple that's been together only 7 months. You want to see them closer together. You can see right here, she's really uncomfortable. I don't think this is a girl that likes to eat much. One of the things that is comfortable, their feet are pointed right towards each other. They really are into each other, definitely. And look at her eye contact, and look at his eye contact. They're looking right into each other's eyes. They're really connected.
I hate food.
Okay, what did I tell you? And you can tell she hates food. Her angry hand says a lot.
Is the tuna good?
Now you see she's closing her mouth. Nope, I don't really want tuna. But she'll go along with it because she's agreeable. She doesn't speak up. She keeps it in. But her body language, her facial expression says it all. Now, here we see he's looking at another woman. Look at that face. She is not happy. She's going, what? What are you doing? I'm cuter. She's going to be agreeable, but she's not liking this.
How does everything taste? It's really good.
Look what just happened. This is really good, yeah. She says yes with her mouth, but her body language says no. It's horrible. She bites her lip. And when you bite your lip, that means you don't want to say a lot more.
She doesn't like this too much.
He's speaking up. He's telling it like is. She doesn't want to make waves. But that could be a problem in their relationship.
Start and stop and like, wait, no, Dad, I stuttered. I stutter.
Okay, now, the fact that she stuttered, it's kind of like she's vulnerable. And so he touched her. Kind of, that appeals to him. He finds that a turn on, as you can see. This is a great couple. They're very accommodating to one another, but there's something major that she needs to work on.
So how'd she do in grading y'all's paper?
Pretty good.
Did you catch him checking out?
I did. Yeah.
You got busted.
Yeah, I know. I love watch for that.
Were you checking her out when
No.
she came in?
She was wearing a green dress.
Yeah.
You know.
Good answer.
Thank you.
Good answer. You are no dummy. That is a good answer. All right, but you thought he was checking her out.
Yeah.
And you didn't like it.
I guess not. I tried to hide it, but she caught me.
Yeah. Why would? But here, that's the point. Why'd you try to hide it?
Because I'm accommodating.
Well, Dr. Glass. Welcome, Dr. Glass, to the show. Dr. Glass has a PhD from the University of Minnesota. You work in communications and communication disorders. You said there is one thing that she really needs to do in this relationship. What is it?
Communicate. If something's bothering you, speak up. He's going to love you anyway. So just go for it.
You think she is too accommodating?
I think she's a little bit too accommodating, and she might blow up after a while. She may be so accommodating, and then one day she may just all let it out. So it's better to say what's going on. You could say it politely like you do and sweetly, but you need to speak up.
Why wouldn't you say something to him when you caught him checking that girl out? He says he wasn't, but you thought he was. We all think he was, but he said he wasn't. He was just looking at the green dress, which again is a really good answer, and you need to stick with it. But why would you choose not to say something? I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just curious. What was your thought process?
My thought process is someone just walked in. He looked. My instinct, my reaction that you see is kind of like, like she's looking at another girl. But then I kind of come to my sense of thinking, you know, someone just walked in the door. He looked up. No big deal.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't say anything.
Yeah. Be interested to see how this one turns out. All right, next, we did a little hidden camera test on this audience. You're going to find out what that was when we come back. Okay, now without telling our audience, we kind of put them to the test before the show. I mean, they were not aware of what was going on, but we all know what PDA means, public display of affection. Now, we put a couple just outside in the audience holding area, and, well, we let them get frisky. Let's see how it went. Were you surprised at people's reactions?
Yeah, a little bit. I was really surprised, and I was surprised at one of the comments, too.
What did they say?
She was really just offended, and
really?
it was interesting. And I thought it was actually funny. So, and I tried to hold back the laugh, but
yeah, because we didn't want to tell them that we had put you up to this.
Exactly.
All right. So, where's Tina? This made you uncomfortable.
I think it made all of us uncomfortable, but I'm a very outspoken person. So everybody was talking about it around us.
What were they saying? What did everybody say?
Oh my gosh, look at them over there. Somebody needs to give them a room key. Somebody needs to tell them something. And finally I said, you know what, this is ridiculous.
Phil, if you saw it and it made you feel uncomfortable, raise your hand. If you saw it and it didn't make you feel uncomfortable, raise your hand. Really? Well, that's about 50-50. Now, John's our fire marshal. He's over at the podium. John, what was your reaction to this?
It wasn't offensive to me, but he definitely had the posture of affection, and I was attracted to that, and I was happy. Actually, I have to admit I was a little jealous. But, no, I thought it was nice.
Yeah, well, see, so there's another point of view, right?
Well, it's okay to kiss and hug, you know, for a little bit, but I mean to constantly grope each other, that was a little too much.
Yeah, okay, so, and we asked you to do this, so you were great sports to do it. Do you need a room now? I mean, because you're like, I'm just kidding. All right. All right. When we come back, we're going to talk to an extrovert-introvert couple. Now, there's a personality switch that happened after I do. So, is this bait and switch, or what happened? We'll talk about that when we come back.
Tuesday on Dr. Phil. A teen mom.
You feel like the thing to do is to keep the baby.
Abortion. That's the first thing you said was abortion.
A concerned family.
They're not capable of being parents.
I haven't even done anything to them.
Well, you got the daughter pregnant.
Who should raise this baby?
If you guys want to reconnect with her, you couldn't be driving her more to him if you were chasing her with a stick.
What?
That's Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, they've dated for over 3 years.
I want to see a ring on my fingers or goodbye.
He says he's not ready.
I've been burned. I do not want it to happen again.
Will he commit or quit?
You need to make up your mind.
You gonna marry this girl?
And a wedding shocker.
You found out you married somebody that was still married.
With an unbelievable twist.
Are you still intimate with him?
That's Wednesday.
We've been talking about personality today, and there are differences in personality. On drphil.com, we have what we call the Big 5 Personality Quiz. You can find it there. You can take it. We'll score it for you right there. Now, Carly is an extrovert. Her husband, Aaron, is an introvert. Their personalities clash sometimes, true? Mm-hmm. Now, you guys differ on a lot of different points. And I'm going to ask Dr. Gosling to help me here. Like, for example, on agreeableness, she scored 2, and he scored 13. What does that suggest in terms of interaction pattern?
Well, the real difficult pattern is if somebody is actually low on agreeableness and at the same time likely to say things. It's kind of dangerous because you have somebody who's willing to say things directly and will say them, and then the other person who won't communicate backwards. And so it's a sort of it's the sort of classic bad combination which
yeah,
needs
well,
to be
on
addressed.
agreeableness you scored 2, and on extroversion you scored 16. And on agreeableness you scored 13, very agreeable, and on extroversion you scored 7. So you don't say a whole lot, you're not as outgoing, but you're highly agreeable. But you're not very agreeable and highly extroverted. So what do you do about this? Did he switch after you married?
Oh, yeah.
How so?
Well, I don't know if it is, but you know when you're dating, you talk a lot because you don't know anything about each other. So you end up talking and sharing about your childhood and just getting to know each other. And we would do more things and see more people, and he would talk and, you know, interact better. And then, you know, then we got married and had children, and I don't know if it's just, if it's stress of everything else that he just doesn't want to think about it. I don't know.
Yeah. Did you change after you got married? Were you putting your best foot forward and then you relaxed?
Yeah, I got into a comfort zone and to where I wanted to, you know, this is where I want to be. You know, this is what I've strived all my life to be. You know, I'm married, have a beautiful wife, you know, nice place, you know, beautiful children we're raising and stuff, and it's just like on autopilot, just sitting there. It's like, okay, we can just, you know, cruise through life now. We're good. I've worked hard to get where I'm at. You know, let's try to maintain that.
Yeah, well, you're honest. You know, this is kind of like a garden. You can put a lot of work into creating a garden, and you can plant it, and you can water it, and you can get it going. And then you go, wow, I got a great garden. And you can go back up to the porch and sit down. But if you don't tend it, it's going to fall apart on you, right? It'll just be swallowed back up by the earth. I mean, weeds will take over, it'll dry up, it'll blow away. I mean, that'll be a real problem. You can't just say, oh, I've arrived, I've got what I want, I'm now where I want to be, so I can just go on autopilot. That, I mean, you got to know that won't work.
Yeah, no, that's slowly coming to realization. That,
yeah, well, let's speed that up. You want him to plug back in, true?
Oh, yeah, I want to. I'm also a stay-at-home mom, so it's nice to have a conversation with an adult where I can communicate and talk and laugh, you know, and...
Yeah. All right, so Dr. Glass, what do you read body language wise right now?
It's interesting because when I first saw them sit down, she was very affectionate. She leaned towards him, she put his hands on him, and he just completely ignored her. He wasn't receptive to her affection. And that's a big thing because it has to be mutual. When she touches you, you've got to touch her back. You've got to connect with her.
He's also nervous, too.
Well, see, you're very agreeable. You're very agreeable. But still, we're not picking on him or making him wrong because he's a great guy and he said you were beautiful and he loves you and wants to make this work. And that's the beautiful thing. He told Phil that he wanted to make, Dr. Phil, that he wanted to make this work. And one of the ways you can make this work is to be more affectionate to her when she touches you, when she communicates with you, when she looks at you. And that's really what we're talking about. And I think that could be a great step in the right direction.
Thank you. I got to do something, you know, try to bring something home. She likes dark chocolate, you know. Once in a while, I think about it, and I'll stop by the store and bring her home a dark chocolate candy bar or something and say, hey, hon, I was thinking about you today, or something like that. To just try to do something that she loves and doesn't really think that I'll remember.
Now, did you see how when you said that, all the women in the audience went, oh. And it wasn't the dark chocolate, it was that I was thinking about you today, right? And so I wanted to, it doesn't take a lot. You know, here's the thing, Dr. Goslin, you don't have to be somebody you're not, right? It's just, these things are ranges, and you can move to the high end of your range and still be genuine to yourself. But that means you got to have some flexibility, though, right?
Right, there is a strong genetic component to all of these traits, but there's still a lot of room for variance within that. You're never going to have somebody become a complete extrovert who's an introvert, but there's room to change one's actions, if not your personality.
Okay. All right, next, we're going to get to it and see what your stuff says about you. What a spy snooping around my office found out about me. We're going to talk about that next. We'll be right back.
All right, so now we're going into the inner sanctum. I'm just sort of having a general look around the space. Maybe we can even look in a drawer. Very interesting.
All right, Sam Goslin is the professor of psychology at UT Austin, and he snooped around our staff offices last night to see what he could conclude about some of the people that work here. Take a look.
So we're going into this office to have a look around.
Okay, hi.
Wow, quite a lot going on here. Extroverts love people, so we see lots of faces of people. What I like to do when I look at photos is to see which way they're facing. They could be for the benefit of you, but they could also be for the benefit of others. What we see here is an incredibly organized office. And, you may think that this doesn't seem organized, but that is one of the way people who are very, very organized maintain their levels of organization, just because they have a higher standard for organization. Got spare? Do you have a spare roll of this somewhere?
Well, let's see.
Yes, you do.
How did you know that?
This is interesting because even before you get in the office, you're already learning things about the person. This is classic identity claims. This is making statements to others. You are entering a positivity zone. And indeed, that's consistent with what happens when you come in. This is an inviting, comfortable, calming place. It's also very, very inviting. It's not super inviting. This looks like quite a sort of a hard-nosed place. We also see the hula girl there, and so that said, there's also a little bit of quirkiness. It sort of reminds me of the bad guy in the James Bond movies.
The bad guy in the James Bond movies. It's interesting, that's Rich DiMichele, who's in charge of money and budget at the show. He says no to more people about more things than anybody. So, Rich, what's up? Did he nail you?
I think he did, yes. It's, it made me very nervous. I wasn't quite sure why he was in my office, snooping around.
What did you see that said hard-nosed?
Well, there wasn't really any sort of thing that made you comfortable there. There wasn't much in the way of softness or of a lot of people, personal reminders. There was a baseball bat in one of the lying around.
Whatever's necessary.
So nothing said come and stay, right?
No, yeah.
It just basically said get out. Okay, well, Dr. Gosling checked out my office as well.
All right, so now we're going into the inner sanctum. At this point, I'm just sort of having a general look around the space. This is a very, very male office in the sense that there is a lot of evidence for accomplishment, the Distinguished Alumnus Award, presidential citation, something the occupant is proud of. We see sentimental things which may have great value, like a tennis racket and croquet set. So there's a lot of interest in athletic memorabilia. So it's not just playing them, it's an interest in sport itself. We're seeing the symbols for thoughtfulness with the chess set. Very interesting. So let's see what Dr. Phil has on the desk. There is some tea, or I'm not sure, maybe it's Dr. Pepper. It's Coke. You see there's these little dog blankets, and it's like a whole set of dog toys very meticulously placed in the dog toy basket. That there is even a dog toy basket is pretty impressive. So somebody with order, but somebody who also appreciates the companionship of a dog. So there's a lot of scholarly connections too, in terms of both the sorts of the books that are here, Jane Austen, the Iliad. Maybe we can even look in a drawer. This drawer goes on forever. It's the one area where it's sort of slightly less formal and it's less traditional, suggests a slight discrepancy and nothing to get worried about. Although this is a very big room, it's also a place where somebody could sort of sit and enjoy their solitude. What we see here is somebody who express introversion, but at the same time can engage very meaningfully with people, especially in a professional context.
Uh-huh. Even Robin wasn't safe. She got a little snoop, too. Let's take a look at that.
So now we're coming into Robin's dressing room. Very, very different from Dr. Phil's space. Colorful and brighter, decorated in a very feminine way. The fact that things are laid out around here, it's somebody who's sort of spontaneous. This person really does have photos of families. So these are classic emotional regulators here. This person sits at the desk and is surrounded by people she loves and who love her. Things are generally organized, but there's a few shoes scattered around. Again, this is somebody who's sort of relaxed. Look, you even see a photocopied poster put up there. So somebody who's not going to be constrained by formal rules of what you can do and can't do. It's somebody who's just doing what they feel comes to them naturally.
So how do you do?
Perfect. Perfect. That's exactly who I am. I love to be surrounded by the people I love, by having all the photos in there, and I make a complete mess when I get dressed.
Yeah, because you're right, no rules. I mean, she just does what she wants to do. I mean,
it's
right?
True, though. It's true. It's
I mean, because I noticed in there she had there's a painting on the wall, and she had taped something onto the painting.
Right, exactly.
Who does that? Who tapes something onto a painting? She does.
A rule breaker, spontaneous rule breaker.
Yeah, spontaneous rule breaker. All right, so this is kind of silly, but we did something else. What's your dog personality? Have you ever thought about that? Go to my Facebook page and you can find out right now. When we come back, I'm going to tell you which dog personality I have. We'll be right back. But personality doesn't always have to be about disorders. That's what we want to talk about today. So you can take this quiz and find out where you come down on the big 5 things. And you can have fun with this. Like the one I'm talking about now that we're posting up is just what kind of dog you would be with your personality if you were a dog. I turned out to be a German Shepherd. I'm not sure what that means, but I turned out to be a German Shepherd. And Robin, you were what? Weren't you a Lhasa Apso?
Yes. How cute. Look. Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I love
definitely.
That.
Definitely. Yeah. All right. Now, more fun personality quizzes are on drphil.com. And as I say, this doesn't have to always be serious. You can have fun, so check them out. I really want to thank Professor Sam Gosling. He is author of Snoop, And you can find that book in your bookstores, on Amazon.com, and it will tell you an awful lot about the people around you, the people you work with, and yourself, perhaps. So I really recommend it. I've read it. It is good. Dr. Lillian Glass, thank you so much for being here and telling us what to pay attention to. We say a lot other with our words, true?
Sure do. Sure do.
Yeah. All right. All of my guests, thanks so much. We have a great time here in the studio audience. If you're going to be in the Los Angeles area, we would love to have you. The tickets are free. Go to drphil.com. You can click on Be in the Audience. Thanks so much for being here. So long.
Today on Dr. Phil. She's spoiled.
Instead of playing with marbles, Chelsea would play with diamonds and rubies.
But
Chelsea refuses to grow up.
She doesn't have a job. My daughter's going to be 30 and she's got nothing to show for it.
she's a moocher.
Did you steal from your grandmother?
Yeah.
Did you get your brother's credit card and run up $11,000?
I did.
And she's blaming her family.
No matter how bad I screw up, I know Mom, Dad, Grandma, whoever's going to be there to fix it for me.
I've had it. It's worse than I ever expected.
They won't let me do the things I want to do in life.
You keep criticizing them because they're rich.
I would have been able to be successful if they would have just let me do the things that I wanted to do.
So you steal $50,000 in a BMW? This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
It matters to you. That's what I want to talk about. You ready in the booth?
Take it.
Let's do it. Go, Dr. Phil. How are you? All right. I have a question for you. Everybody have a seat. Everybody have a seat. Here's the question. Is it asking too much for your 20-somethings to be able to make their own money and to be independent nowadays? I got a lot of 20-somethings here. So why are so many 20-somethings taking so long to grow up, if they ever do? Now, one theory is something called emerging adulthood. You read about this New York Times article that said this is a time between 18 and 30 which is to be used for identity exploration, instability, self-focus, or just kind of feeling lost in between. Now, you can take a poll right now on drphil.com and let me know if you think emerging adulthood either makes sense or it's just another excuse. Barbara says she's given her 24-year-old daughter nothing but the best, and all she has to show for it is a daughter who won't speak to her.
Chelsea's had it pretty good.
My parents gave me everything that I ever wanted.
Chelsea's birthdays were an event. When she was in kindergarten, we went roller skating. We had a costume party. We hired Belgian workhorses and a covered wagon. Chelsea's dad is an orthopedic surgeon.
They spent $14,000 to buy me a show horse and travel all over the place.
Chelsea's grandfather was an airline captain.
I have gone to Peru, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic.
She's been to Hawaii twice. Chelsea's grandmother had a jewelry store for 25 years. And instead of playing with marbles, Chelsea would go in and play with the diamonds and the rubies.
I've been raised in a very materialistic lifestyle. My mom and dad gave me a car for my birthday, I think it was, or that's really bad, but I forget why exactly they gave me a car.
In the past 2 years, Chelsea's cost me $27,000. I was the fool that just gave her the money, and now I'm paying for it.
I called my mom a rich bitch one time.
Chelsea called me a rich bitch. She didn't want to be like me and my rich bitch friends. I said, really? But, Mom, can I have 20 bucks for gas? I fear that Chelsea will not become a responsible, respectable member of society.
She sent me to finishing school.
She goes, don't you call me, don't you call here, I don't want to talk to you. And she hung up. I said, fine. I haven't talked to her in 7 months.
Well, Chelsea moved out of her mom's house, and they have not seen each other, as she says, in 7 months. So I want to ask Chelsea to join us now. Come right in.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. Nice to meet you.
Dr. Phil, her you know.
Her I know, Mom.
So why have you had no contact in 7 months?
The last time I talked to her, she told me she didn't want to hear from me anymore. She said that she was an adult, she was going to live her own life, and she just didn't want me. I said, great, I have been pushed away so many times. I finally got the picture.
Mm-hmm. So how do you feel about it?
I pushed her out of my life at that time because I needed space, and I told her that I didn't want her calling me. I didn't want her coming over. I didn't want her knowing where I was because I didn't want her to come over and cause a scene. And I just didn't want her, but I've missed her. So I need her back in my life.
You do? You want her back in your life. How do you feel about that?
Right now, I think she just needs me because of my checkbook. I don't know what she needs from me other than money.
Are you running out of money?
Nope. I don't need money. I don't need anything other than the fact to know that my mom's there and she still loves me, because she hasn't, I mean, I feel that regardless of the things that happen, a mother should still unconditionally love you. And in the past 7 months, I haven't even got a call just to say anything at all. Mm-hmm. And that's hard.
Have you mistreated your mother?
Yeah, horribly.
Have you mistreated your grandmother, who's right down here? Margaret, hi, how are you? Have you mistreated her?
Yeah, I've mistreated everybody in my family.
Why?
I don't, for specific incidents, I can't say exactly why I did the things that I've done. However, it's the choices that I've made, and I've been raised to a certain standard, I feel, all my life, that no matter what I try and do, will ever be good enough for my family.
Well, you knew right or wrong, true?
Yeah, true.
Because you have exploited her in a major way financially, right?
Yes.
You spent $11,000 on her credit cards. Have you held yourself to any kind of standard?
No, not until recently.
Well, one of Barbara's biggest complaints is that Chelsea hasn't completed her GED. Take a look at this.
My daughter's going to be 30 one day, and she's got nothing to show for it. She doesn't have a GED. She doesn't have a job. She doesn't have friends that are what I consider worthy or that are going anywhere. She has nothing to show me that she has accomplished anything in life. She's lying, cheating, stealing. I can't trust her.
I lie because the repercussions and the consequences that I would have gotten from my mom immediately after, telling her the truth were worse than just lying about it and having to deal with it later on.
I'm afraid she's coming back to me, and I can't afford her.
Well, we're going to hear what Chelsea's grandmother has to say about all this when we come back, because she's been involved as well.
Stay tuned for a special sneak peek behind-the-scenes look at tomorrow's Dr. Phil.
Well, we're talking to 24-year-old Chelsea and her mother, Barbara. Now, Chelsea's grandmother, Margaret, invited Chelsea to live with her and her grandfather. Now, Grandma feels used. Here's why.
We wanted her to have the very best. Chelsea lived with us for 4 months, and I discovered she'd stolen my credit cards, lied to me, and she stole my car. So Chelsea was not being a good girl.
I told them, don't do it. You're going to be so sorry. She's trouble, and she will hurt you, and she did.
I told Barbara I could solve the problems. I've always watched the Dr. Phil show. I thought I knew everything. She had written almost $1,000 worth of checks. Underneath this bed is where we found all of my mail, and I was so upset because I kept accusing the bank of not sending out our statements. She stole my MasterCard. The total was $7,000. The Visa card was around $6,000. We have probably given her $30,000. Besides, she took money out of my purse. The house is so big that we cannot hear anything. She'd sneak out. She abused my car every night. She stole my car, really. And she said, well, I feel like I'm locked in and I want to go hang out with my friends. Well, yeah, they were hanging out at my expense. The restaurant, $110 for Hooters, $89 for Hooters. She set the bed up so that we would think that she was still in bed. And then this place was just covered with clothes. We opened the closet, and here were big sacks of trash. It was a disaster. I am so angry. I am so livid to think that Chelsea would do her grandmother a great injustice.
Okay, so what do you say about all that?
There's a lot of stuff that wasn't really said there.
Say it now.
I came back from California, and I'd been living not financially on my own, but by myself since I was 18 years old. And they took my cars away from me. They took my privileges to go see anybody away from me. Everything that I had been used to for the past, since I was 18 was now taken away from me. I wasn't allowed to go do anything.
But did you steal from your grandmother?
Yeah.
Did you get your mother's credit card and run up $11,000?
I did.
Did you forge checks on your grandmother? That's a felony.
And I told her she could turn me into jail. She threatens me about everything that she can do, and I said, fine. If it's that big of a deal to you, and if you're really that angry about it, turn me in, call the cops, and let me go to jail for it. But instead, they didn't do that.
So you ran up $11,000 on your mother's credit card, $7,000 on one of your grandmother's credit cards, $5,000 on another one of her credit cards that you stole. You stole her Vicodin, according to her. You stole her BMW so you could go out at night. You've run up $27,000 on your mother and $36,000, $32,800 on your grandmother. You were getting your nails done, going to restaurants.
Yeah, I was doing anything I could do.
You rewound the mileage gauge on a car. But is this okay with you?
No, I never said it was okay at all. But clearly the way that everything was being gone about wasn't good either. I mean, taking everything away from me and not letting me do anything at all. They wouldn't let me succeed, and they wouldn't let me fail either. They won't let me do the things I want to do in life because it's never good enough for
You said they took things away from you. They weren't your things. See, that's the problem we've got here.
They gave me the car. They gave me my car. They took things away from me that were mine.
Who bought the car?
My mother and my father, and it got taken away, just my mother. There was no questions asked my father about it at all.
And so you feel violated because they took things away that truly were yours.
Yeah.
But you don't feel that you violated these people when you took away things that were clearly theirs.
I said that I did.
You're offended. They took away things that were mine. You stole 50 grand from these people.
I realize that. I do.
And you have the audacity to talk about them taking away something of yours?
None of this would have ever happened if I would have still been able to do the things I wanted to do.
As long as they let you do what you want to do, you won't steal from them.
I'm not saying do just whatever I want to do. Had a job working at a farm, wasn't good enough for him. Anything that I ever do is not good enough for them. I would have been able to be successful if they would have just let me do the things that I wanted to do. And be proud of me for the fact that I even have a job, like that I'm even doing anything. But they've grown up in their little ritzy, like only worried about money and only worried about their name, and that's not me. I hate that. That's not the person I want to be
You
at
don't
all.
want to be all ritzy-ditzy.
I don't want to have a bunch of money and only worry about the money and only worry about my name and
then why would you steal $50,000? You don't value money, so you steal $50,000 in a BMW? Grandma, what do you say about all this?
You stole the car at night to go out and be with your friends, to go to Hooters and every place else.
I asked you if I could go, and you guys would not let me go.
No, that is absolutely not true.
Tomorrow on Dr. Phil.
I always dream that I'm flying.
Flying dreams can mean that you're trying to escape a situation.
What are the 5 most common dreams?
My husband is dreaming that I'm cheating.
Are you kind of insecure?
Well, maybe a little bit.
What do your dreams reveal?
When we land, I'm the only one that's still alive.
Have you lost people close to you in your life?
Find out Dr. Phil's biggest nightmare. That's tomorrow.
I worked for a thoroughbred breeder when I got out of high school. My mom absolutely hated it. Like, I was probably the happiest that I'd been in a really long time. I was doing what I loved every single day. But because I was just working at a horse farm, it wasn't good enough for her. She didn't like that at all.
You don't value money, so you steal $50,000 in a BMW? Grandma, what do you say about all this?
You know, you had every golden opportunity. You took the car to the gym. We allowed you to have the car to go. Your mom paid for a gym so that you could get out of the house. We left you go to your dad's office. We left you go uptown to get our mail, which you later stole our mail and our statements from the credit card company and things from the accountant and IRS we found underneath your bed and in the drawers after you moved out. Now, you know that's true.
Yes, I do know that's true. And I do know that I screwed up. Like, I realize that.
And we didn't lock you up. You stole the car at night to go out and be with your friends, to go to Hooters and every place else. You know, all the restaurants, the sushi bar. I have a list of everything. Ski resort, 126 times. She never went skiing.
I asked you if I could go, and you guys would not let me go.
No, that is absolutely not true. We wanted you to exercise. We wanted to, no, Chelsea,
that's not true.
Yes, it is, Dr. Phil. I would like her to go get exercise. We paid for a gym. That is not true.
The thing I'm trying to resolve here, because I want you to get what you really want. I mean, I really do. You probably don't see me much as a friend to you right now, but I just want to get the truth out here, and you can't change what you don't acknowledge.
I've acknowledged that I screwed up. I've acknowledged that.
You keep criticizing them because they're like rich and they have this ritzy life and all of that, but yet you're stealing BMWs and going to ski resorts and all of this stuff. It sounds to me like you kind of like the lifestyle.
I just like being able to be out with my friends.
Because you're not stealing a BMW and going down to the soup kitchen to feed the homeless.
I screwed all that stuff up. Like, I realize that perfectly fine. I knew you were just going to bring me on here.
You blame your mother for, quote, giving me everything I ever wanted, quote, telling me I was fat since I was 15, quote, saying my ex would leave me for a skinny girl, quote, telling me I would never amount to anything, and quote, withholding unconditional love. Those are your complaints against your mother. What do you say about that?
I have got on her about her weight because she's not healthy. I don't think that she's healthy with being overweight. I don't know what I did wrong. If I just did it all at once or if it was a combination of everything going on. I just wanted her to get her GED and get a job so she can pay her car insurance. Then she can have the car. But right now, she's got...
So if that's the deal and I got the job and you said no, it has to be a job as a CNA because working at a coffee stand, making good money and tips and more than I would have made working at the CNA jobs that I could have applied for was not good enough for you.
It wasn't cost effective. She was driving farther than what she was making money for. There's no benefits to what you were doing. There's benefits in the health care.
I was making $500 every two weeks and tips on top of that, but it wasn't good enough because...
Then why didn't you start paying your grandma back?
Because
why didn't you offer?
I wasn't asking for any money. I was paying for my gas.
You just stole $37,000.
And I was paying for my rent. You ask why? Because I didn't have any extra money. If I had extra money to pay either of you off right now, I would be doing that.
Have you ever apologized to them?
I apologized as much as I can. I don't know how many more times I can say that I'm sorry for the things that I did, and they take it with a grain of salt because I have screwed up so many times in the past. And I completely understand that. And so...
But I hear you explaining it away here. I hear you saying, and not that you don't have some issues that I think you have legitimate complaints about. I agree. But you know, here's the thing. When you do something so outrageously wrong, so criminal, it just kind of crowds everything off the radar screen, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you realize you could go to jail for 20 years for what you've done. These are serious crimes, and you're like, well, they wouldn't let me do what I wanted to do. Tell it to a judge and see how that sounds. Excuse me, miss, you stole $50,000 through credit card fraud and a BMW. Well, they wouldn't let me do what I wanted to do. Do you think the judge would say, well, I wish you'd have said that before we brought the jury in here and all of that stuff, because we would have saved a lot of the state's money here. Do you realize how non-credible that is?
Yeah.
I mean, you must just drive away from these people just laughing your ass off. thinking they just keep bringing me back. They just keep loading me up. And then you say you criticize her that she's given you everything you've ever wanted. Parents, hear that. And that's what you criticize her for.
Yeah, because now that I look back on my life, I see that no matter how bad I screw up, I know mom, dad, grandma, whoever's going to be there to fix it for me, and that it will all be okay. That's why, like, I don't want that anymore. Like, I'm sick of it. Let me go and let me either succeed or let me fail. Like, I have to do this on my own, though.
I had that mother gut feeling, something's not right. And I knew that you would be experimenting. That's what kids do. I didn't know it was that bad.
She didn't know for a fact.
Oh my, how we've lowered the bar.
When Chelsea and I get in an argument, she will start to yell at me, to intimidate me. When I accuse her of lying especially, I cannot be as perfect as you. Why are you like this to me? Then I will say, oh, honey. And she'll look at me, don't call me honey. Then we go from there like two 12-year-olds. And then it gets worse because I hang up on her, and now I'm an 8-year-old.
Chelsea has been keeping a secret from her mother that she wants her to learn about today. Take a look.
I'm living down in California. I got really depressed at night being there by myself. September rolled around and I came up to Washington to my one friend, the one that had gotten me into drugs. I partied with her for like a week. We just did whatever we could do. I think we did coke and meth was her thing. So we did that. And I spent probably $1,000 to $1,500 on coke, meth, crack, alcohol, weed, all of that. One night I went out to the bar and got trashed, absolutely trashed to like almost blackout point, and I didn't have anywhere to go, so I was staying in my car in Walmart parking lots every night. I'd woken up that morning to a cop knocking on my window asking me what I was doing with my car running, sleeping in the parking lot at like 9 o'clock in the morning. So I decided to call my grandma and my mom. I had been doing drugs all that weekend and I couldn't tell my family. I just told them I needed to come back up, and my mom decided that she would get all my stuff and move me back up to my grandma's. The reality was just gone anytime I was on drugs, and that felt so good because I didn't feel like I had such a screwed up life.
What'd you want to say?
I found the pipe in your car. I didn't know it was that bad. I didn't know it was that bad. But I had that mother gut feeling, something's not right. I found the pipe, okay? Okay. And I knew that you would be experimenting. That's what kids do. But what you put on that credit card, really, that's what they do. But I just thought she'd do it when she was younger so that we could...
Really?
Yeah.
No, that's what some kids do. That's not what all kids do.
Some kids, my kid did it. My kid was drinking, and here we are.
But she didn't know for a fact any of it.
How
she
we've
just
lowered the bar.
assumed it.
I didn't know it was that bad, Chels. I didn't know it was that bad.
Do you understand that lying has become your second nature, right? Weren't you talking to her on the cell phone at one point and she told you she was in California?
Oh, yeah.
And you were behind her on the street in Washington?
She tells me.
I was behind her.
I'm on the highway. I'm on the highway. And she's on the cell phone. And she tells me, I have to pull into the parking lot now because I have to go back to work. It's 1 o'clock.
You thought she was in California doing what?
Working in a dental office.
And she, in fact, was...
She was in my state. We don't live in California. She's in my state. I'm following her. She just told me that she's going to do her job in California, and she had to get off the phone. And I said, you know, I didn't freak out. I didn't yell at her. I said, go tell your grandparents, didn't I?
There's one thing that we just need to be honest about. You are not a good thief. You steal things and leave a trail.
You left receipts in your purse and in the room at their house.
You're not even good at being bad. So you just might as well decide to be good. I mean, you got to change this. We got to turn this around.
It has been changed in the past 7 months that my mom hasn't been talking to me.
Well, maybe that...
Then that's good.
That's a good start. All right, we got to take a break. Next, the biggest thing Chelsea says her mom is most critical about. We'll be right back.
talking with other parents, and they're telling me about their child's wedding, grandkids, career moves, what they're doing in college, awards they've won, and how proud they are of their child. And all I can do is sit there and say, that's really nice. And I'm dying inside because I don't have anything good to say.
Chelsea says her mom was very critical of her growing up.
I had a lot of good times up until about 5th grade. I wasn't doing good in school, and that's when my parents started fighting. I felt a lot of pressure from both of my parents growing up. My grandma owns this huge jewelry store. My dad is a doctor, and I pretty much felt my entire life like I had to grow up to be something amazing. I was never Chelsea.
But she has let herself go. She doesn't seem to have any personal satisfaction. So she just eats, and she smokes too much, drinks too much, and she's gained a lot of weight.
My weight was a huge thing. I've been told ever since the day I was like 13 that I was fat. My mom would say that I was fat. She'd tell me that on a regular basis, almost every day. Because I was so self-conscious, I'd wear sweatshirts all the time just to cover whatever fat was there. If I didn't look good, then it reflected back on her, and nitpicky little things like that absolutely drove me crazy. It was like a slap in the face.
Okay, what do you say about
It's
her
true. I am sorry about that, Chelsea, but it's true, I did that. I'm worried about her weight. I'm worried that she's not taking care of her health. She can't get, I don't think she can get a job with the size that she's at, because employers may look at her as not being healthy, getting a back problem, getting knee problems.
Well, you said something that really kind of struck me. You said a lot of times you're with your friends and they're all bragging about their kids' accomplishments, and you just sit there and stare at the table because you got nothing to say.
I stare, well, yes. I don't stare at the table, I stare at them. I go, that's wonderful. Yes, and my family too. She's got cousins. There's 7 of them, and they're all born the same year. Okay, so 6 of them are all doing things, and Chelsea's not. You know, they were accomplishing something.
What's good about her?
She's got a wonderful personality. She's a wonderful personality. She can talk to anybody. She's not shy. She can go out there and just dazzle them.
Why do you suppose it's gone so wrong with the criminal behavior, the dishonesty, all
I
of that?
did something somewhere, and I'm not sure what it was. I don't think it was just all of the weight issue. It could be because I wanted her to be something than what she is. I just want her, right now, all I want her to do is get her GED and get a job. And then that'll be great. And then if you wanted to be a nurse like you say you do, you need those 2 things to get further in life. And I'm not paying for it anymore.
And if I don't want to be a nurse, if I want to do something that I want to do?
It better be cost effective. You said that you wanted to work at a horse ranch. Great, but the horse ranch was an hour away. Okay, do the math on the travel stuff.
Down there, though.
Well, here, do this math. You don't tell a 13-year-old she's fat.
I
Okay, you work on good life habits, you work on those things, but you don't label a child in that way. That is wrong. It doesn't justify everything you've done, but that is wrong. And look, here's the thing, Chelsea, why did you agree to come?
Because I want my mom back in my life. Really bad.
Did she bribe you to come?
Yeah, she
How
did.
did she bribe you to come?
She told me that that she would give me my car back if I came down here.
And what did I do the next day, though?
And then
I took it back.
She said if I wanted to go to the show, or if I did, she'd give me my car back. Then a couple days later, I told her that it didn't matter, like, wasn't for the car. I wasn't doing this for the car.
I was curious that, have you ever really just told your grandmother, look, you took me in, you opened your home to me, you gave me a place to stay, a beautiful place, and I went behind your back and robbed you like a thief in the night, and you didn't deserve that, and I'm sorry?
I've told her sorry almost every occasion that I've gone over to her house since that happened, and she's gonna say that I didn't, because
well, she said, you never specifically gave me a hug or said I'm sorry. You just said, I'm sorry. And the last time you came over, what did you say? Just tell Dr. Phil what you wanted. She said, I came here because I want my gun out of the safe.
Oh, yeah.
It's my gun. It's my gun. It's in my name. And I can get the police, and I can get my gun back. And I said, please do, Chelsea. Just please do go get the police. I would welcome them in my home.
Yeah, she said she'll tell them about the credit cards. I said, go for it. But
Any conversation you have with your grandmother that ends with somebody telling her to assume the position is a bad conversation. What do you mean you're going to call the cops on your grandmother?
I didn't. I said that if I said it nicely. Of course, it's going to be made to seem like I didn't. But I said that I wanted them, or I was going to have to go get the, like, that's the only other option I have. They're not going to give it to me, so if I
now,
can't,
Grandma,
then...
I'm going to call the cops on you.
And I said, please do. But, you know, she owes me all this money. Don't you think that she could give me the $600 back or whatever the gun is worth? It's mine now. I don't care whether it's in your name or not. We can go to the police. You own it. It's mine.
And be honest with me here. Have you ever sincerely felt remorse for victimizing your grandparents?
Yeah. I felt bad for all of my entire life, for my entire life of screwing everything up. Like, I feel bad, I really do, but nobody gets that. Nobody understands that. Like, I realize how much I've screwed up. And the past, I know it hasn't been long,
I get that you feel bad for yourself, but do you feel bad for the fact that you have broken her heart?
I feel bad for what I did to my family. Like, I feel bad for that.
But you continue to do it. You did it to me first, and then you felt bad, and then you went and did it to her. Oh, wait, but first you did it to me, and then you decided to move to California. I bailed you out of that lease. I moved you back to where we live. That wasn't chump change. That was a big piece of my life. Then you go and you do it to her, and you feel sorry about it. And then when she told her grandmother she was sorry, she goes, sorry. There was no heartfelt.
You weren't even there, Mom. You've been out of my life for years.
I got it from her. She just said the way you said it. She just said the way you said it.
Yeah, she said it however she wants to say it. That's not what happened. I told her I was sincerely sorry and that I realized I had screwed up and that I apologized for the things that I did and I meant it. Whether she wants to take it as I seriously meant it or I was just saying it just to say it, that's up to her.
I've had it. You told me you were going to make me proud of you. Well, you have not. You've gone down in the dumps. It's worse than I ever expected. You've made me very sad.
I've apologized and I have sincerely meant it. And, you know, I have screwed up and it hasn't been since I've been out of my grandma's house and actually trying and actually having to do things because I know that it's time to grow up and I'm trying to do the right thing. In the past 7 months, like, I have been doing good and I know it's hard because I've screwed everything up in the past, but I'm doing good and nobody...
Where's the test results for your GED? If you've done so well...
I don't have it because I've been working.
You can do it at night. You can do something.
I can always do something.
Let me add this in. Chelsea says she wishes her mother was as supportive as her father. Now, he wasn't able to join us today, but he did share his thoughts on what's holding Chelsea back.
Chelsea refuses to grow up. She's very smart and intelligent. The problem is I don't really trust her. She is unable to follow through with the things that she says she's going to do. During her high school completion courses, she said that she had completed her final examination, and in fact, she had not. So I kicked Chelsea out of the house. She just won't do the classwork. Chelsea's old enough that she needs to be living on her own. I'm not willing to pay for her living expenses. She needs to get a job and make her own money. I really don't think that Chelsea's going to change much until she either hits bottom or she's willing to accept help from somebody else.
You want to be left alone. You're saying you want her in your life, but as far as managing your life or making decisions, you want to do the job you want to do, the place you want to do it, and you'll either make it or break it on your own.
Yep.
And you've stolen over $50,000 for them, and you've said you get some extra money, you get ahead, you pay them back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I have the money and can pay my rent and get my gas to get to work, I have no problem paying them back the money that I took from them. None at all.
Anything you come into would go to them.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
I'm through. I'm through giving you money. I've had it. Because I see that you're not getting... We gave you Papa and I gave you every opportunity to get your GED. Bought the books. You told me you were going to make me proud of you. Well, you have not. You've gone down in the dumps. It's worse than I ever expected. So you didn't make me proud. You've made me very sad.
Have you come into any money recently?
No. I've come up with just the money to pay my rent and pay my groceries, and I put money away because to make my move, and other than that, I have had no extra money, and people will vouch for the fact I have not been going out or doing anything.
You know, I wanted to test this. So before the show, Chelsea was given $500 for helping out around here. And what did you do with the $500?
Well, thankfully it didn't show it. I stuck it in my shirt.
Yeah. So you...
I didn't know we were getting money. I didn't really plan on what I'm going to be doing with this money.
Yeah. Well, you said, quote, "Oh, great, it's my birthday. I can get drinks on the airplane."
Yeah, I did. It's my birthday. This is what I'm doing for my birthday.
I was just curious as to whether or not if you came into some money, if you turn around and say, "Hey, guys, I just got $500 I didn't think I was going to get, and I certainly owe you money, so here's $500.
Yeah, it's going to go to gas to get down here and to pay my rent this month.
What's left over from the drinks on the plane? Surely you won't drink $500 on the plane, so you should have money for something when you get home. You know, that money that was stolen, you can kiss that goodbye. You're not ever going to see it again. It's gone. Forget it. I wouldn't, like, figure it into my retirement plan. So, and she still ain't ponying up to 500, as you can well see. So I think that's not going to happen. But what you're saying is you want to be left alone to do what you want to do and make it or break it on your own.
That's 6 years now, and she hasn't proven that she's
well, but either she is or not. You're through bailing her out, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And you don't trust her in your home.
No, I don't.
You don't trust her around your mail or your credit cards or anything of the sort. You gave her a credit card and it took you 3 months to get it back.
Yes.
That's on you, lady.
I know.
I mean, you could have stopped that day. Where's my credit card? All you got to do is pick up the phone, say, cancel that, issue me a new one. Come on.
I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Well, that's an $11,000. Oops, should have thought about that, isn't it?
I trusted her, though. I really trusted her.
Okay, well,
but now I don't.
Love her, but have boundaries. Love her, but have boundaries. You don't have to love everything she does. And you can decide, well, it is not cost effective. As you've said like 10 times. Well, neither is her ripping you off for $27,000. Right. You want to be left alone to do what you want to do. Let her do it. Somebody gave her a car, let her drive it.
Okay, that's hard. I know, it's just hard to let her go. No, I will. I will do what you say, because that's why I'm here. But it's just, oh, it just tugged at my heart. I will.
That's why I said, you've been doing this for you, not for the kids. It's not good for the kids. It's good for your heart. You say, oh, it's so hard for her to be on her own. Well, you know, you're not going to be here forever.
No, I'm old, according to her.
Well, you're not going to be here forever. At some point, she's going to be alone in this world. You got to teach them, you know, it's said a long time ago, give them some fish, they'll eat tonight. Teach them to fish, they'll eat the rest of their life.
Yes.
It's time that you learn to fish. Yes. We'll be right
back. She's got 50 more good years left if she uses them wisely. I have 25. I want to be able to enjoy those years with her. She's the only family I have right now. My husband has left me. She's it. And I don't want to be alone.
Well, I want to thank all of my guests for being here today. Guys, you know, we have a job as parents, and that is to prepare our kids for the next level. And if you're not preparing them for the next level, then you're not doing your job. And sometimes they have to learn some of it painfully on their own. Sometimes you can show them the way. But if you're not doing that, you're not doing your job, however it makes you feel. So just think about it. All right, we have a great time here in the studio audience. If you're going to be in Los Angeles, we'd love to have you. The tickets are free. You can go to drphil.com. You can click on Be in the Audience, or you can check out drphil.com and see how all of you out there have voted about today's show and today's questions. Thanks for being here. So long. You have to give her her space. You've got to set up some boundaries because you have trouble with boundaries. You want to control her weight. You want to control her health. It's not your job anymore. Good news. They don't have any control over you whatsoever. There's absolutely nothing to rebel against you.
So you're saying start a new slate. So when she tells me something that she's not lying, do I believe her?
If she wants to go butt a stump, she can do it. She doesn't owe you any explanation. There's no reason to lie. You lie to escape consequences. They have no consequences for you. You decide you want some counseling, you call us, let us know. We'll make the arrangements for you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right.
Dr. Phil told me to let her go. She's 24. I agree with him. I cannot be controlling anymore. She was given money. She can do with it what she wants. It's hers. I don't expect to see this money anymore.
I mean, I didn't know we were getting any money, so if they want it, they can have it.
And I don't believe that she's going to do that. I think that she will spend the money foolishly.
Nothing that I ever do she'll ever believe, so if I was to give you the money right now, there you go. There's the money. I'm trying to give you back the money. I'm trying to do the things that I need to do to make this relationship work.
I'd really appreciate it if you would follow through with what you say.
I am.
Okay, I accept that, and I'm sorry.
I promise to tell you the truth, and I will try my hardest to make you proud. I don't know if I will, but I'll try. You know, my mom's wiping my slate completely clean this time, and I don't want to mess it up.
Today on Dr. Phil, a teen mom and dad.
Why did y'all have unprotected sex? It's hard for me to believe that you both got stupid on the same night.
They're concerned parents.
There's no structure, there's no boundaries. They're not capable of being parents.
Who should raise this baby? Each side thinks they know best.
You're in antidepressants, you're drinking, partying.
They just keep telling her how bad of a person I am, and I haven't even done anything to them.
Well, you got the daughter pregnant.
Which side will Dr. Phil choose?
I've got one interest here.
A custody battle that divides an entire family.
You couldn't be driving her more to him if you were chasing her with a stick. This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
It matters to you. That's what I want to talk about. We ready in the booth? Let's do it. Now, the story you're going to see today could and should just absolutely scare the bejeebers out of you.
My stepdaughter's future is in jeopardy. Now that she's gotten with this boy, he is controlling her, brainwashing her. She's on a path where she's going nowhere.
They think Jordan's not good enough for me. They think that he's a piece of
Ever since Paige has been with Jordan, she has become more and more distant. I don't get to see the baby. I don't get to see her.
I'm not controlling Paige at all. If she wanted to go back with her parents today, she could.
I don't think the living environment is healthy. There is a python snake that lives with a newborn baby.
This is Jordan Paige's room. We have a nursery upstairs that we are preparing. My main objective is to get them where they need to be in life before I, feel like I can let go.
When we offered to adopt the baby, Paige's response was positive, almost like a sense of relief to her.
Jordan's reaction, he turned beet red real quick. And I said, whoa, Jordan, I'm just asking. I'm not saying we're going to take her from you. It's not going for that.
I think it's actually kind of funny that Paige's parents actually wanted to try to adopt Miley, because when we first told them that she was pregnant, the first thing out of Nikki's mouth was, you either need to get an abortion or we need to give her for adoption.
They're not capable of being parents.
Paige needs to get on track, and I mean now. She is spiraling out of control, but if I don't get a grip on it now, it's going to be too far gone.
Now, Nikki wrote in, and in that letter, she said that her 17-year-old stepdaughter had just delivered a baby. Now, you want your stepdaughter away, correct?
Yes.
You think it's not healthy?
Not healthy, no.
Okay.
Not a healthy environment, he can't even hold her head right.
And you think that he is brainwashing your stepdaughter?
Yes.
Now, the baby's teen dad, Jordan, has a very different version of this. Take a look.
My name's Jordan. I'm 18 years old. I'm father of a 2-month-old. I live with my dad and my girlfriend, Paige. Some of the challenges I'm facing right now, going to school, being a father, working, and just dealing with everything. Paige's parents are trying to get her to break up with me and to adopt my daughter. Paige's stepmother has said that I'm no good and I'm not going to go anywhere. I think I'm very capable of taking care of Paige and the baby. I've been doing it for the past 9 or 10 months now. I wish Paige's parents would just understand that Miley's my daughter, Paige is my girlfriend, and I'm going to keep being there and we're going to be a family.
I've talked to you a little bit, Nikki, and I'll start with you. What's your biggest problem with this whole thing?
He has been extremely controlling, brainwashing. We've watched her go downhill. She's failing in school. She's got tattoos.
So do you really mean that brainwashing, or do you just think that she's kind of...
I think he has a huge control over her. We can't see her ever alone without him. He never lets her speak on the phone unless he's right there or on the phone.
She doesn't answer our calls. I mean, we had to take her phone away, so I have to rely to call Jordan, but of course, never calls me back. I haven't seen her. She's never just come by the house.
What do you think about what they're saying?
9 months ago, they wanted nothing to do with her. At the first family meeting, she was like, okay, we're going to give this baby up for adoption. We're going to do it for abortion. Paige and I didn't want that.
That's not true.
No.
No. You kept grabbing...
Not true.
At the first meeting,
you wanted abortion, Nikki.
We put our options out there. We put our options out there, but we would never, ever.
Right. No, that's not right.
And what did I say? What did I say?
What did you say?
I said, if anybody's going to adopt that baby, it'll be me, because they're going to be with me.
And how's that working for you?
That's working great.
Really?
Yes.
You say it's not? Why?
And you want to talk about control?
Absolutely not working.
Nikki, you want to talk about control? That's all you did in that first meeting. Is control that whole meeting.
We were in shock.
No, you guys are sitting in order right now. You control him and you control her.
Oh, she controls me? I don't think so.
Well, hold on a minute. We're talking about Paige like you're not even here.
I don't even know where they're getting all this control. He doesn't control me. I don't even know how to explain.
Did you get my calls last night?
Yeah, I did, and I'm not answering them.
Well, how come you didn't call me back? I mean, you were flying. I wanted to check on you.
You act fine to me. You act fine, and then you go behind my back talking to them, saying all this stuff, and it makes no sense to me.
Miley is 7 weeks old, and they've moved 5 times. He kicked them out when Miley was 1 week old. He has an 18-year-old girlfriend that lives with him, along with a python snake.
Nikki, you said 18. That's legal, okay? That's really none of your business.
You went to high school with her.
It's none of your business with his relationship, okay? If he wants to have an 18-year-old girlfriend, cool. Who cares?
It's the environment.
What environment?
I care, actually.
I'd like to...
Yeah.
Who cares? I care. I mean, listen, I've got one interest here, and that's this baby. And this child is going to be hitting developmental benchmarks. There are going to be things coming along that need to be happening right now. And this child needs some stability. You are not a paragon of good judgment here. So I take everything you say with a real grain of salt. And I read you in your pre-interview, you said, I want them to understand that these two are headed in the right direction.
Yes, they are.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
They've moved 5 times. He doesn't have a job.
Yes, he does.
There's no ability to take care of this child without support from the 4 of y'all.
Okay.
How is that in the right direction?
Well, let's count moves. We started off in an apartment. We went to a bigger house because we have a baby
Paige
coming.
started off at her mom's.
Yeah.
And then she wanted her to leave.
So,
I mean, she didn't want a baby at the house.
And let's find out why. Let's ask why.
Yes.
Okay, what's your point? Listen, Chris, seriously. Again, I'm just interested in the baby. What's your point? You really want to count moves? You really want to talk about why? How is that in the best interest of this child that you want to waste time talking about that?
Because
you want to be right?
Because moving has nothing to do with this. It's where they're at now with that baby.
Stability.
For
That's not stability.
as long as they need me.
Okay.
My concern here, is that you're
beginning.
saying that they're moving in the right direction.
Yes, they are.
And I don't see anything right about what's going on. There needs to be some major changes, some reality checks going on here. Look, this isn't my first rodeo.
The right direction is they're both still in high school, and Jordan will graduate this year.
But they don't have a dime in their pocket.
And they both failed last year.
You know, Phil, we had the first meeting out. I met him 3 weeks before Shot found she got pregnant. We talked. He told me he's going to go to school. Go to school,
get a job, support this baby, and Paige is gonna do the same thing.
I'm doing all those right now.
Jordan, you haven't.
I'm a senior in high school. Okay?
Where's your job?
I have a job after school every freaking day.
When did you start that?
Phil, anyways, he's had at least 4 different jobs I've ever seen him have.
Y'all chose not to be in her life.
And he just keeps telling me this, and I'm
We
getting
don't
to the point
choose
where
not to be in our life. We call and
I don't want to live with him. I don't want to live with him lying to me every time.
How are you supposed to call?
I'm a
Let's
dad.
let's
That's
not
my
bring
girl.
up the Jeep at the beginning of the school day. Let's go take her vehicle away so that all that's on in her mind, instead of focusing on schoolwork, is, oh crap, they just took my Jeep.
But they also are parents now, and they've been driving that Jeep for several months with no insurance. Inspection sticker was 6 months old,
You got
and
insurance
it
in your
reeked of
car,
beer
too?
and pop when we went to pick it up.
You didn't do hers.
All right,
That's
time
not
out.
responsible.
Time out. We're going back. We're going to talk about why does Jordan think Paige's parents are always trying to get her alone? He's very suspicious of their motives here. It sounds to me like maybe with good reason. We'll be right back.
Tomorrow on Dr. Phil. They've dated for over 3 years.
I want to see a ring on my fingers or goodbye.
He says he's not ready.
I've been burned. I do not want it to happen again.
Will he commit or quit?
You need to make up your mind.
You going to marry this girl?
And a wedding shocker.
You found out you married somebody that was still married.
With an unbelievable twist.
Are you still intimate with him?
That's tomorrow.
Ross and Nikki adopting the baby would be a great solution to our problem. We would still have Miley, and Paige would still be able to see her grow. And she's part of our lives.
They were like, if you move in, you can't date Jordan. There's no way that I can just cut him out of my life. And I wouldn't want to.
Well, on this side, I have Jordan and Paige. They are teen parents. They're fighting to keep their baby. Jordan's dad, Chris, is here. He supports them doing this. On this side, we have Paige's mom, Marcy, her dad, Ross, and Ross's new wife, Paige's stepmother, Nikki. She's the one that wrote to me about the arguing and fighting and this baby that's caught in the middle. So who should raise this baby? Each side thinks they know best. Now, are you concerned about this baby right now?
Not at all. Miley's happy.
So you have no concerns about teen parents, children themselves raising a baby. Chris, I don't get it.
Well, they're not raising the baby alone. They are not
They're raising it with you and your 18-year-old girlfriend?
They're raising that baby with me. My girlfriend has nothing to do with this.
Dr. Phil, he's not home every night. He's gone to work. He has to work at night. I understand that. But he's not there. These 2 kids alone in the house by themselves with the baby.
I would just like to say...
Ross, go ahead.
Well, first of all, when Paige got pregnant, it was very hard. It was very hard. Paige was sneaking out. I mean, we had other kids in the house slamming doors, yelling at me. So during this, when I went to counseling, you know, I was like, she's like, just let her go. If that's what she wants to do, put her out in the real world, let her see what it's like. Because if she has that baby, then they get together, then you've lost another year down the road. But right now, if you can make her realize that it's hard, then maybe she'll come back and make the right decision. And what happened is I did let her move out. Under the information that I was given at the time, that's what we decided was best. And I've lost complete control, and that's the hardest thing, is because she is still 17, but I have no control. I can't tell her to come home, and I don't...
You let her move out at what age?
16.
To live with?
Me.
Because it was continuing to be, she was sneaking out.
It was a stress on your marriage, that's what it was.
No, it wasn't. You didn't have respect for me. You thought, oh, I have a baby now, you can't tell me what to do. That's what it was. And it was very hard. You take one person down or you take the whole family down.
No, the whole time that I lived with you, Mom, you had no control. I did whatever I wanted. You did not.
No, behind our back you did.
No,
so
you knew.
She's real manipulative.
And so basically what I'm saying is they've been on their own all that time during the pregnancy and everything, and now he does work at night, so they're still on their home. There's no structure, there's no boundaries, there's no guidance.
So what do you want to see happen here today?
I want Paige to come back home. I think that Paige a year ago was into sports, did academically great. She had life, she had friends, and now she has, in the last 13 months, failed a grade She has 2 huge body tattoos. You need to get mentally healthy, physically,
And the
everything.
tattoos were
You're
asserted
not
by
thinking
him.
straight. I think that. I think that.
I had my first one before y'all.
Okay, the only 2 people I've tattooed is myself and my dad. No, I did not. My friend did.
Well, what did you let somebody do that to my girl for?
So yes,
she
I
wanted
did
to.
let her.
That's not. I can't say. Oh, I'm not, because I'm not controlling like y'all think I am. All right, I'm not.
Then what are you doing right now?
I'm trying to tell
Then
y'all
does
how
my
it
daughter
is
choose
because
not to
y'all are
call me
so.
back?
You keep telling me that. and
Y'all
you
are so
lied
messed
to
up
me
in the head. You'll
all
never
year. Come to my
freaking
room.
listen
Oh.
ever.
Because you lie. You lie. You say you're
I
going to
lied.
work. You
Yes.
don't work.
No, I'm not gonna chill out
You
because
say you're going to get a job. You
What do
don't
you-
I have
work.
a job. I have
What,
a job.
a week in his business
I got a
that
job for the
he's
past month. They all
admitted
haven't
to
been in
us
lives.
that
When you
his
come to
doors are
school,
about to close.
take her car.
Hey, now wait a minute. We're going to have a conversation here, but don't you use that kind of language on my stage. That is disrespectful to these people. It's disrespectful to your father. It's disrespectful to the women that are sitting here.
Apologize.
Now grow up.
Apologize.
So they're telling you to chill out. I'm telling you, watch your mouth. Don't do that.
Can I talk for a minute? And can y'all listen?
Sure.
Okay.
You know, we've been listening to you.
Okay.
9 months.
All right, let him say what he's got to say.
Marcy, you say that I never let her answer the phone. Okay. Right now, I gave her my phone. I don't need it. She's the only person I talk to. When you go backstage and look in her purse, my phone's in there. She does not answer your calls because she doesn't want to talk to you. Okay. I don't control her. We have a very mutual relationship.
In order for us to see Paige, we have to make a trip
That's not
up
my
to the
fault,
high
though.
school, call
That's
her
not
into
my
the
fault.
principal's office
I
to
told
try
her
to
to go
talk
see
to
you.
her.
I
Because when
told
I'm
her to
alone
take
with y'all,
my
all y'all
phone.
do is attack me. All of y'all. That's all y'all do. Y'all get me alone, and then y'all just team them up on me.
Let's talk about the meeting
called
when we had
parents.
you alone.
Okay, do you want to talk about this because you want to prove yourself right?
No,
I
absolutely
am
not.
stunned
No.
at the selfishness of the agendas that are being run here. I seriously am. Do you really want to revisit something 9 months ago so you can prove yourself right?
Absolutely
Then
not.
why do you
I
want
am
to talk
not
about
here
this?
to prove myself right.
Well, apparently you are because
No,
that's what you want to talk
I'm here
about.
to help
We're gonna
her
help.
and Miley. And let's
Okay,
talk
well,
about
you
the
could-
meeting we had a few weeks ago.
Okay, let's
when
talk
she
about the meeting
broke
we're
down.
having right now. Let's talk about the meeting we're having right now.
Okay.
If you guys are saying that you want to reconnect with her,
Yes.
I'm just going to tell you straight up, you couldn't be going about this more wrong if you had sat down and said, how can we alienate this child?
That's why we're here.
Now, based on, look, I've just met y'all people. You seem like delightful people. Seriously, I'm not being sarcastic at all when I say it. You really do.
That's why we're here.
I think y'all are very nice people. But you couldn't, look, let's just look at it from pure evil, okay? Let's take your theory that he's an evil controller. What's he doing? He's telling her what she wants to hear.
Right.
You're telling her what she doesn't want to hear. You couldn't be driving her more to him if you were chasing her with a stick. Come on, you know better.
That's
I'm not saying you're evil. That's a theory. That's a hypothetical. I'm not saying that at all. I kind of wish we could like freeze and then flash forward a year and come back and have this conversation and see who put up and who shut up. I've been doing this for 35 years, Chris. They are not going in the right direction. It certainly isn't working for anybody here, most importantly, Miley. Right. That's the only thing that we need to be focused on at this moment. I've got to take a break. Next, Nikki says the teens can barely afford to buy groceries. So why on earth did Jordan buy another mouth to feed and bring it into their home? We'll talk about that when we come back.
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil. It's Avery's first birthday.
Repeat after me. You can't change what you don't acknowledge.
Which grandparent
This is good for you.
That's my screen.
is the better babysitter?
All right, good match.
Plus, she's lost over 100 pounds,
Think she looks good?
but hasn't gained enough compliments from her husband.
Do not pause when I ask you this stuff. I am lobbing you softballs, buddy.
That's Monday. Then on Tuesday, viewers call them infuriating.
They got Daddy wrapped around their little finger. True?
Very true.
Dr. Phil's most frustrating parents
The girls are doing good at home.
are back.
Did she scream at you and attack you?
She did. When I
That's
let
what
me,
you call the girls are doing pretty good.
That's Tuesday. Then on Wednesday,
911, what's your emergency? I just killed my husband.
A life of fear.
This is a woman that has been abused.
A crime of passion.
I just picked up the gun and I shot him.
The evidence points to self-defense.
He said he told you he was going to kill the kids before he killed you.
But there's a shocking twist.
When I saw premeditated, my jaw dropped.
She's charged with first-degree murder.
That's Wednesday.
Jordan is not soon to be a father because he cannot provide for Paige and for Miley. He can't hold a job. He is still to this day has not showed anything to me.
I just feel that they are not trying. Neither of them work. You would think that if you knew that you had a baby coming, that you would really try to go out there and get a job and try to provide, and they don't.
How do you think Paige is going to react to all of this when it's over with?
I think she's going to turn her back on us again. And
interestingly enough, you kind of feel like they've turned their back on you.
Nikki controls every move of my parents, and she's not my parent. My parents are my mom and dad, and I just feel like they're trying to control me and dictate what I'm doing, and what I'm doing I think is best. We're going to school, we're trying.
Well, you quit going. You enrolled in summer school and you didn't go.
I didn't enroll, my mom enrolled me.
I enrolled her, yes, hoping that you would catch up. Because she
didn't go. You failed a grade?
Yes.
Okay. So you're a senior and you're?
A junior.
A junior. Did you ever ask your son what he was thinking about getting a girl pregnant?
Oh, yeah. You know, he knows he has more responsibilities on his plate. So he's doing what he's got to do.
So you think he's taken a turn just recently here to be more responsible?
Jordan has made huge turns. Huge, especially lately. When you can see when he's taking care of Miley. I never in a million years thought I'd see that.
So listen, I don't doubt that these two love this baby. I mean, I really don't.
I honestly didn't think that he would change a diaper.
Yeah,
he's
nonstop
get that now.
Yeah, that's terrific, particularly for you, Paige. I mean, it's terrific for you that he's doing that. But have y'all gone to parenting classes?
Well, our school was supposed to give us a class, but they never did.
Well, it's not school's responsibility. It's not school's baby. It's your baby. And you can make some mistakes just by not knowing. It doesn't mean that you don't love. Doesn't mean that you're not well intended. Look at this picture. What's wrong with that picture? The baby's sleeping on its stomach.
The doctor told us to.
Yeah. You need to get another doctor. You have to understand how to deal with this child because things are going to start coming up real soon. Because you talk about this, oh, we're doing this, we're that. I mean, yeah, that makes a good copy. But the fact is, you're living off other people right now. You're being supported by your father at this point. And I don't care how willing or not you are to do that. That's not a solution.
Well, we had our own place, and we also wanted to go to school. But then the school got an anonymous call. It was saying that we were out of district, so we had to move back in with my dad. We were paying the bills.
They do have school districts. If you move outside of them, then you're outside of them. There are rules. That's part of maturing and understanding that you got to do what you're required to do.
They wanted to be with their friends. Is it really about getting educated? Because there's that right there in your backyard.
We already knew the school. We knew the teachers. We knew the program. We were comfortable with it. We didn't want to jump into something new again.
You know, if it wasn't about your friends, why don't you go to work in the morning and then go to night school? That's what I would.
Because I want to be home helping Paige with the baby. That's not fair for her to be doing it all by herself at night.
Well, you let her at nighttime go. She used to get up all by herself, and you never helped her. And I told you when we went to y'all's house that time, you know, you called her. Well, I said, why don't you help her? If you think it's so easy, why don't you get up in the middle of the night and help her with that baby? You didn't at first, Jordan, and then you say, well, she can get off her fat ass and do something at night. That's the least she could do. That's what you said. And you know I'm not lying. That's the truth. That's what you told me.
I did not say her fat. I said she sits on her ass all day.
No. You said her fat lady.
No, I said she sits on her ass all day.
Okay, but also, I just want to say, Dr. Phil, the reason that I feel that it's not that we're trying to take the baby away. I've met with Paige several times when it's just been me and her, and I can tell that she's not mentally stable. She's, talked about giving the baby up for adoption. She's overwhelmed. You're in antidepressants. You're drinking, partying. Well, yeah, I am. But I also make good decisions,
Whenever
and when I make a bad
about the
decision,
whole adoption
y'all
thing,
just gang up.
she was going through the postpartum without the antidepressant,
Yeah, I
so y'all
didn't
were just
have
putting all these
anything.
thoughts in her head.
And just
So,
to get y'all
but
off
I'm the
my
one
back.
doing it.
Y'all just keep attacking.
I said she can move back in with y'all, but it's not fair that I don't ever get to see my daughter.
we
Y'all
weren't
no.
holding you back from seeing your
No,
daughter.
that's not what she told me.
We
She
wanted
said that
to-
y'all, I
No.
had signed my rights away.
How can we do that?
That's your baby.
That's the law. We can't do nothing about it. We're just grandparents.
We want to help. We want y'all to
But do you
feel
really think it's going to be good, Ross? Do you honestly, okay, do you really think it's going to be good if Miley has to go back and forth all the time when she could just be with us and we're happy? Why can't y'all just be happy for us?
You can't take care of her.
How can I not?
We're taking care of
Is she healthy? Yes. Does she have a place to live? Does she have clothes on her back?
How much money you got in your pocket right now? You don't have no money. You don't have any money.
You
I'm
have a
trying
good
to tell
job
you
at a
that.
I have money in my
You've
bank
been
account. Do you have
working,
access to my bank account?
driving
Because I
around in
do.
a
I've been
Texas
saving money the entire time.
Well, you say that. That's
All right, time out. We'll be right back.
Me and Jordan's plans are to finish school. He wants to go to college, and I want to go to cosmetology school.
Miley is Jordan Page's motivation to graduate from high school. I have never witnessed so much homework being done every night than this year.
They were going to half-school programs last year and couldn't even make a half-day program. They just expect everything to come to them and everybody to give them everything.
School's hard and very stressful, but we'll get through it.
Your son or daughter could be in imminent danger of getting pregnant or getting someone pregnant. Now, we're talking with teen parents, Paige and Jordan, who are fighting with her parents over their newborn baby. Now, one of the big complaints from Paige's parents is how can they both graduate from high school while they're taking care of a newborn baby? You have financial problems, right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, you're 18. You made $6,300 last year. Poverty level is $18,000. You have to triple your income to hit poverty. You went out and bought a puppy, right?
Yes, sir.
What'd you pay for the puppy?
200.
200 bucks?
Well, my dad and I split it for her.
How many, but I mean, how many boxes of diapers can you buy for 200 bucks?
3, 4.
What?
3 or 4.
3 or 4 boxes of diapers?
We get the big ones.
Wow. That's expensive diapers. He's got to get this, Chris. You're not helping him if you prop him up where he doesn't get it. But if you have the best interest of Paige at heart, if the best interest of Miley at heart, you would be having a very different attitude about this instead of pointing your finger and yelling at 3 people that are offering to help your daughter. They have to show, you heard me say they need to change the way they're doing this. I totally get that. Chris, you and I agree with that on that point. What y'all are doing is not reasonable. It is not working. That has to change. But if you've got her best interest at heart, you want her to have a good relationship with her family.
I do.
And you want this baby to have an extended family. You should be trying to find a way to make peace here. Because you kind of started this whole thing, right?
In a way, yes, sir.
In a way?
Yes, sir. Oh, we started it.
Yeah, I'm coming to her next. But, I mean, seriously, you made some really bad judgments here. And you said you were drunk at the time?
Yes, sir.
Which also is illegal.
Yes, sir.
And you were drunk at the time?
Yes, sir.
And you were 16?
Yes, sir.
So he had you out drinking at 16 and got you pregnant? And
It wasn't just him.
I'm sorry?
It wasn't him. I did stuff like that before we dated.
Yeah, well, is he the father?
Yes.
Then he got you drunk, and y'all got pregnant. I mean, Chris, I mean, you can't tell me it's heading in the right direction. That is irresponsible. Have y'all been drunk since then?
Yes, sir.
You haven't been out, you haven't partied, you haven't been with your friends, you haven't been drinking. Is that true?
We've been out with our friends and stuff.
Is that true that they haven't been out drinking?
It's not true.
Right?
I mean, tell me the truth. We got to deal with the truth here. So he says that's not true.
Okay.
So are y'all lying to me?
I say that's not true because, and I wasn't there, okay? But I do know that they had some friends over at the house that they were staying at my ex-in-law's ranch. I do know that group. It's just not these 2 sitting here. Like you said, teenagers all over. They're all doing wrong. And they need to, and I hope they watch this show and realize
So did y'all just lie to me?
Okay.
No? Did y'all just lie to me?
I did not drink. My friends did come over.
Yeah, they came
there was
over.
alcohol there, but we did not drink. And Miley was not there.
Okay, what about when I babysat Miley? They came the next day because they were going to go home and get rest. They both were hungover when they picked the baby up.
We weren't hungover.
I wasn't hungover.
You weren't hungover?
No.
Well, I don't think. She told me the same thing.
When we picked up the truck from the high school, it reeked of smoke and beer.
Beer?
Beer.
Yes.
Okay, I'm 18, so...
We can't buy beer.
I mean, I had
Doesn't keep you from getting
cigarettes,
it.
so I mean...
Y'all just said y'all drunk illegally just a second ago.
I'm just asking y'all, are you telling me the truth here?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So your dad's just wrong.
Yes.
He's just wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, Jordan does. He had.
So you weren't hungover and you were with all these friends that drink out there at a party, and why didn't you drink?
Because I just now my whole like thought has changed because of Miley. Like the way I think about things has changed. We have both grown.
It was my birthday. It was my birthday, and my friends came over and they surprised me. We didn't drink, but we just hung out with them because we haven't seen them all summer.
Did you smoke dope or anything?
No, sir.
You don't believe them, do you?
You know, I had a hard time believing that. I really do. And I hope that they're not lying. But I just know the group that was out there. I know that group of teenagers.
When we come back, you know, what's Jordan's explanation about why she got pregnant in the first place? And, you know, I know alcohol was involved, but I can't believe that there's not more awareness than what we're seeing here. We'll be right back. You know, what teens want their parents to know about teen sex? 10 important points are all on drphil.com. Why did y'all have unprotected sex? Because it's hard for me to believe that you both got stupid on the same night. Really, that one of you wouldn't say, whoa, here. You know, it takes two on the same night to just get big stupid about this. What's your excuse?
I know I wasn't thinking that night. I mean, we were just living in the moment, I guess you could say, just having fun.
Well, that moment's going to last over 20 years of parenting here. I mean, that's the point, right? I mean, this is a long haul. And that's I hate this for y'all, but that's part of growing up. When you choose the behavior, you choose the consequences.
And Paige was on the pill, but she didn't take it.
I wasn't on the pill
because you didn't
then.
want to get fat. Because that's something that I know that I didn't agree with it, but we did decide that that was best. We took her to the
That was like
doctor.
the beginning of my freshman year.
You want Paige to move home and have support and stability, correct?
Yes.
And y'all are happy to do that?
Yes, sir.
And you'll provide for her in every way with some expectations about what she does and does not do.
Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah.
And if she did that, you're not saying, okay, we've now got her in our clutches, so we're going to throw up a wall and cut Jordan off from her and from the baby, or you are?
No, sir, 'cause I thought about that too. You know, I said, I'm not getting anywhere being bad towards him. I got to accept him who he is, just so I can see my daughter and my granddaughter.
When you first got pregnant, did you consider placing the baby for adoption?
What 16-year-old doesn't?
And of course, now that you have the baby and you've bonded with the baby, you feel like the thing to do is to keep the baby.
Yes, sir.
Do you want what's best for the baby?
Yes.
Even if it's not what you want right now in the moment?
Yes.
Because you all are holding hands and all. I mean, that's great. But right now, what you want is to be with Jordan and have the baby and the three of y'all be kind of cuddled up right there, right? That's what you want.
Yes, sir.
If that's not what's best for the baby, are you willing to make sacrifices?
And there's no doubt in my mind that it is what's best for her.
I understand that, but if it proved that it wasn't the best thing for the baby, would you be willing to give up what you want and put the baby's interest ahead of your own?
Yes, sir.
Are you willing to try to find a way to make some peace with your mother and your father and your stepmother?
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Because at this point, we got a lot of finger pointing going back and forth, and you know, you're calling them judgmental, and then at the break they all kind of hold hands in the middle, and you say, "Oh, so fake." It sounded pretty judgmental to me as well, so it's kind of the pot calling the kettle black, and y'all are pointing fingers at Chris and
Nikki doesn't even know me. She never even got a chance to know me. She's known me 20 minutes in one room at the first parent meeting and hasn't bothered to call me. She calls my ex-wife a lot, but doesn't call me.
You were very hostile at that meeting, and if I recall, my husband had to sit you down because you were so angry.
No, it's not true.
It was.
No, it's not.
He even jumped up. Dad, settle down. This is about me and Paige. It's not about you and Mom. It's about his mother. It's true. You know it's true.
Well, that was my ex-wife and I having a discussion, and y'all jumped in between it.
We had these two to worry about, not y'all two. It wasn't fair to these guys.
What was going on between my ex and I had everything to do with what was going on with our son at that moment.
I don't know what that was.
See, Chris, my point here is we've got another human being in this world, and it's going to get harder, not easier, and you need all the help you can get. And you don't want to alienate Chris. You don't want to alienate any of these three. You don't want to do that. And if what I saw with your anger flashing here and throwing a bomb on national television in front of all of these people, if that is an indication of your impulse control and your emotional maturity, I've got real concerns about your readiness as a father. I'm just telling you that. I mean, that vignette in and of itself, to me, is very disturbing.
I've held my tongue for 10 months with them. I've been completely respectful every time. Every time Paige wanted to go see them, I said, go ahead, take Miley. But every time she goes over there, they just keep telling her how bad of a person I am. And I haven't even done anything to them.
Well, you got the daughter pregnant.
I understand that.
That's a big one.
I know, I understand that.
No, seriously, that's a big deal. I mean, if I had a daughter and some guy got her pregnant at 16, we would have a serious parting of the ways.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. And that's a dance that it takes two to do, but I'm telling you, you can't just say, I don't know why these people have it out for me. I mean, come on. I mean, develop some empathy here.
So then, 10 months ago, you know, when we had that first parent meeting, then why did they feel so comfortable letting their daughter go live with him?
That was me, and that was the decision that...
That's just you.
Because he also would encourage her to sneak out.
I remember Nikki controlling that whole meeting.
We're not talking about the meeting, we're talking about what happened while she went to live with you. And that was because he didn't respect, I mean, you know, he would come and get her, she would sneak out, after hours, slamming doors, all this. I mean, you were still under my roof, you were still, I mean, if you...
And you would let her spend the night with Jordan?
No.
Yes.
You knew about it,
yeah. No. What's your point?
They think my son's so bad, why did they let their daughter come live with him?
So your point is that they really don't think he's so bad? That they really didn't mind that they got her pregnant?
All they do is judge.
Well, what is your... I'm looking for somebody that's trying to advance the dialogue here. And you're saying, well, if that's true, then why did you do that 9 months ago? What do you expect? What do you expect the result of that comment to be?
You know what I said? I said right here, almost a year of having Paige under my roof with me. You know, helping them as much as I can possibly help them as a single parent, okay? And I have gotten no appreciation whatsoever from them, not even a thank you from them.
You're enabling everything.
For
you're
filling her Jeep up, you know, feeding her.
So what'd you do when you made him move out after the baby was a week old? You kicked him out.
I did not kick them out. You guys go by what you hear. You've never called me. You always call my ex-wife.
You know,
you never call me, ever.
I've been sitting here through this whole conversation, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, not one of you have said, Dr. Phil, what do you think's best for Miley? Dr. Phil, what do you think we could do better? You know,
that's what I thought you were getting to.
You know, we want to
That's what we were waiting on.
we want to deal with this. Well, you weren't waiting on it. You were spending time pointing fingers, and everybody here has been doing the same thing. I'm astounded at that. I mean, when you guys get home and watch this show, you're going to go, oh, geez. Yeah, did I really say that? Did I really say that?
I wrote in because we're desperate for help.
Yes, we want help.
Oh, you're more desperate than you think. Seriously, there's some real danger here. I mean, seriously, I'm very concerned about it. We got to take a break. See if you can correctly answer this question. What percentage of teen moms go on welfare within 5 years of their baby's birth? Is it 12%, 38%, or 75%? We're going to give you the answer after the break. Before the break, we asked the question, what percentage of teen moms go on welfare within 5 years of their baby's birth? 12, 38, or 75%? Well, the correct answer is 75%. Do y'all agree that what you're doing is not giving you the result you want?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
do you miss your relationship with your parents?
Yes, I do.
Because you really miss that, don't you? What would it mean to you to be able to do that?
Everything.
Why?
Because they're my parents and I love them. And I want them to be in Miley's life and in my life.
And you have questions you want to ask sometimes, right? You'd like to be able to have some girl talk, some mommy talk. That would be nice, true? Have you missed that?
I miss her a lot.
Have you missed that?
Yeah.
I mean, she's over there living with a couple of guys and a baby. And the women in her life have got up on their hind legs and started barking. That's not helping the situation here. Y'all are going to need some help in brokering some future planning here, and I'm going to provide that for you. And I really want you two to get some extensive parenting classes. It will make it, what you're doing now will seem so much easier with a little skill injection here, and I'm going to arrange that for you as well. It's a bit at our expense. You're not going to, you don't have the money to do it. We'll do that. Okay, can we start with that? All right, we'll be right back. You know, the thing that I want all 6 of you to remember is life is a marathon. It is not a sprint. And we need to calm down here and just make sure we're taking even small steps in the right direction. And the first one is lessening of tensions and putting up some boundaries so we're not in conflict every time we get together. We'll build on that. The 5 biggest mistakes parents don't know they're making regarding teens and sex are on drphil.com right now. The 5 biggest mistakes you don't know you're making. You can also go to drphil.com for the specific conversation you need to have with your teen to help prevent teen pregnancy. I really want to thank all of our guests today, and I want to see a lot better vibe going on with this group when we talk in the future. So thanks for being here. So long.
Today on Dr. Phil.
I have the mother-in-law from hell.
Is there anyone you'd like to cut out of your family tree?
My mom went from a sweet and loving person to someone who has a bunch of hatred.
How many times have you told me, shut up, Mom, shut up, Mom?
Because you're not listening.
I'm his mother.
Well, I got a mother, but she doesn't tell me what to do every day.
This meddling mother-in-law
You said, Mom, you're crazy. You are.
just can't cut the cord.
She is freaking obsessed with him.
And you think that it's creepy?
Very much so.
I know you're a grown person. I would never interfere in your life. Did I interfere in your other marriages?
You are going to hell, Betty.
Why do you hate me so much that you want my son to hate me?
Betty,
You know, honey, because I have a good family.
Betty, over here. Betty. This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
If it matters to you, that's what I want to talk about. Are we ready in the booth? Let's do it. I got a question for you. What would you do if you couldn't get along with one of your relatives? I bet you already know, because I'm sure you can't get along with all your relatives. But would you just, like, I don't know, cut them out of your family tree? Feels good sometimes, doesn't it? But it really can have ramifications. Now, this is Melissa right here, and that's what you say you're ready to do if things don't change with your mother-in-law, Betty, correct?
Yes.
And you don't want that to happen?
No.
Let's take a look.
I have the mother-in-law from hell. My mother-in-law has told me that I have ruined her son and that I have stolen him from her.
I feel she's taking him away from me, and he's allowing it to happen.
After 9 months of Tyson and I dating, he decided to propose to me on my birthday. So we got married in June in Jamaica.
When we finally got married, that was a breaking point. My mom completely did a 180, telling me that marrying Melissa was wrong.
Melissa wanted to marry my son really bad, and the first thing, she wanted a baby.
She said that I was just brainwashing him and trying to trap him, that he really didn't want a child with me. Betty called Tyson's coworkers, crying, asking them for their help in making Tyson see the light and see the true colors of me. Betty told some family members that if Tyson was to leave me, she would cook his meals, clean his house, do his laundry, and take care of the children, so then there would be no need for me. She is freaking obsessed with him.
I've heard that Melissa's called him a mama's boy.
It kind of hurts because I'm right in the middle of everything.
For Betty putting Tyson in the middle of all this and making him have to choose makes me hate her even more.
He says, I love you because you're my mom, but I don't want you in my life. And I'm wondering why.
My husband and I have decided that if she does not change, that we are going to be cutting her out of our lives.
Okay, how do you feel to hear that?
To me, it's all a lie, because I've never, ever felt those feelings that I wanted to get in between them. It never came to my mind to hurt my son, to hurt Melissa. Never.
You have MS, correct?
Yes.
Have you said, I hope the MS is someday going to get her?
No.
Did you say that she stole your son from you?
I didn't say she stole him. I feel that she's done something to keep me out of their life, out of his life.
Did you say to her, you have ruined him, you are a monster, the worst thing he could have do is to have a child with you, I wish he never met you, you're trying to trap him, he will know the truth about you, and he will leave you?
No, I have never said that to her.
You didn't say any of that stuff?
I have never said that to you.
Are you lying about all of that?
Those things were either directly said to me, directly said to my husband, or the internet guy.
When? When did I say that?
Okay, wait a minute. Just, I'll get to that in a minute. I just want my son back in my life without her.
I have never said that.
She has ruined everything for me. I am left out because of her. She brainwashed him to getting a vasectomy. Reversal.
Okay, all I know is when Tyson wanted that vasectomy,
reversal.
No, not the reversal. When he first wanted the vasectomy, he told me, I don't want any children. I don't want any children. You wanted children right away, Melissa.
Isn't that between the two of them?
That's okay. That's fine, but why did Tyson involve me and say, Mom, come
Your son's 37 years old. This isn't even his first wife.
I know he's not. I know it isn't.
So what business is it of yours whether he does or doesn't? He's 37 years old.
I'm his mother.
Well, I got a mother, but she doesn't tell me what to do every day.
I understand that. But I'm his mother.
Did you say, why are you wasting money on this elaborate wedding when it isn't going to work?
No, I never said that. No, I never said that. Never. Melissa, when did I say that? Melissa, when you first met my son, I thought the world of you. I really liked you, Melissa. You're beautiful. You brought a good part of my son out. Get it? Please understand, I am not here. I'm not here to hurt anyone. God is my witness.
Okay, well, let's leave him out of this for a minute. Did you recruit a spy on the internet?
No, I didn't.
Okay, what's that say?
Expert from instant messages from Betty with, you know, that can be changed, Melissa.
Oh, Jesus.
You can change things.
Take ownership of what you've done.
No, wait, hold on.
No, I can't. I talked to him, but if he oh, you know, I know I talked to him. No, I'm not caught.
Black and white, we have proof you are caught telling lies on a complete stranger on the internet.
Right, here's what, let me get the facts out here. You say you did not recruit somebody to spy on her on the internet. Well, I'm not going to say this person's name here, but this is you talking to him, and you're saying their names are Tyson and Melissa. Will you look it up for me, find out, and read? He says, well, sure. You say you need to keep me up on what she says or he says.
No.
And then the guy says, sure thing, I can be your spy, LOL. No. And you said, that's true, but you probably have to be a friend first. And so he goes through here about how he could become a friend with her. And then he comes back and says, bingo, she just accepted me. Yeehaw, let the fun begin.
No, no.
Did I read that right?
No.
That's what, yeah.
Okay. And then, so, because you've been blocked from their pages, right?
I blocked you too from mine.
Okay.
So be it.
Because of that last thing you sent to me.
Saying to leave us alone and quit calling Tyson's coworkers? Yeah.
Okay, I'm just trying to get... Listen, I'm still trying to get the facts out here so I know what I'm dealing with. Finally, this guy writes back to you and says, you know what? Your son has left a lot of nice messages for her, and it seems to me that he is happy. So my opinion is maybe you should reevaluate, and if he's truly happy, find out a way to accept that. And you say, yes. She puts it out there that they are so happy, and you say, she has my son so ruined.
But a lot of that stuff's not me saying things.
Well, what part of this did you not say? Because somebody has hacked your account.
I talked to him, but I was putting my heart out there.
This is your problem, Betty. You are the victim in everything.
No, I'm not. No,
you are
I don't consider myself victim. I'm too busy to be.
You went on the internet and found an internet guy, a complete stranger, and told him things about my private life.
I didn't find I have the beginning.
That is dangerous.
I have the beginning where
so what if it would have... Okay, this was obviously
this is why they don't listen to me. They won't let me talk. This was a stand-up guy that
got a hold of us and said, hey, this is what's going on. What if you would have contacted some freaking killer that was going to help you out?
Goodness.
There's people out there like that, Betty, that was going to help you out and off your daughter-in-law for you. There's people out there like that.
I never even, that never came up in my mind. What are you trying to say?
I'm not saying it came up in your mind.
Wow. You know what, Melissa?
The same
maybe
conversation you had with this guy, if you had with a killer, I'd probably not be here today.
Maybe you're the man. Maybe you're the one that set me up with this man.
Okay, well,
maybe you did, Melissa.
Crazy.
Okay, hold on.
I heard that you could have done that. Excuse me, Dr. Phil.
Her point is that this is a stranger, and it could have been some wacko that really took things too far. Now, at no time did you...
And I'm sorry for that.
At no time did you ask him to do anything unkind?
No, I did not.
At no time did you ask him to be intrusive in any way other than to just get on there and monitor? No. So you certainly didn't solicit any kind of bad thing. Your point is, this could have been a wacko that took it too far. You didn't know somebody to start, some stranger to start following them. That's the danger of the internet. You understand that, right?
I understand that.
Your son's watching all this right now.
That's
He's back in the green. I wanted to talk to you guys first, but he's been talking about all this. Now look, I don't care how flat you make a pancake, it's got two sides. And Melissa's not innocent in all this either. I'm going to talk to her when we come back. Plus Melissa's husband, who's been listening to the conversation, we're going to meet him in just a little bit. He says he's caught in the middle. Well, maybe he put himself there. We'll be right back. Has she been antagonistic to this marriage?
Yes.
Did she want you not to marry her?
Yes, she did.
Did she want you not to have a baby with her?
Yes, she did.
Did she want you not to spend money on a big wedding because it wasn't going to work anyway?
Yes.
Tomorrow on Dr. Phil. Overweight teens harassed at home.
You had a tuna sandwich, french fries, fried chicken. I intended to make her aware.
You couldn't be more destructive to her efforts to lose weight if you had been hired to undermine her.
Now they're fighting back.
Jennifer would like to go to one of these fat camps.
My dad will say, oh, we don't have money.
That was a lie, wasn't it?
I didn't trust that she would follow through.
The truth was you didn't believe in her.
That's tomorrow.
I haven't spoken to my mother in at least 3 weeks. I don't understand why my mother wants to ruin my marriage. I would figure as close as me and my mom are that she would be happy to see how happy I am. She's being jealous. I feel like I've been put in the middle of this. My mom went from a sweet and loving person to someone who has a bunch of hatred. My mother's personality has changed and I don't even know her anymore. When my mom said that marrying Melissa was a mistake, that was just a devastating feeling. The last heated argument that I had with my mother, she told me that she was done and that she was putting me behind her. I feel that what she is doing is wrong. I still love my mother. I miss her very much. I would like things to be back the way they were. I want to know from Dr. Phil if this can be fixed.
Okay, so you have not one person, but two people that are being very critical of the way you're engaging them in this relationship. Is that because she has corrupted his thinking, or is he right?
I feel that she's put things in his head, like telling him he's a mama's boy, telling him that he has no, he can't stand up for himself.
Let's ask Tyson to join us here. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good to meet you. Sorry for the occasion, but I'm good to meet you. Yeah. I can put you a chair. Where would you like to sit?
Over here, please.
With you? Well, okay.
Yes.
Put it on this side. All right. You've been listening to all of this, right?
Yes.
And there's two sides to this. I've been talking about the criticisms that Melissa has and some of that you have for your mother and the way that she's engaged you guys in this relationship. Has she been antagonistic to this marriage?
Yes.
Did she want you not to marry her?
Yes, she did.
Did she want you not to have a baby with her?
Yes, she did.
Did she want you not to spend money on a big wedding because it wasn't going to work anyway?
Yes.
Okay. Now, why would you say these things about your mother if they're not true? Do you love your mother?
Yes, I do love my mother.
Very much?
Yeah, very much.
Look at me.
Yes, I do.
Look
I love
at
you
me
very much.
And tell me, is that really true, Tyson? When? Give me the dates. Give me the time I've said those things. I have never said those things, Tyson. You are old enough. I know you're a grown person. I would never interfere in your life. Did I interfere in your other marriages? Melissa, please.
Hey, then why are you interfering in my life?
Don't look at me like that. Like you think I've done something wrong.
Talk to me, please.
I will talk to you, but tell her to stay out of this, because you change when you're change when you're around her.
I don't understand.
You have not talked to me nice.
I do not understand where you were coming from with all this.
Okay, you're talking to me nice. Okay.
Yes, I am talking to you nice.
I wish I could have kept the conversations the way you tell me to get out of your life.
This is what happens every time we talk. This is exactly what happens.
No, you don't want to listen to me. You don't. How many times have you told me, "Shut up, mom. Shut up, mom"?
It's because you're not listening.
You're not listening to me. You've never listened to me. See this? Okay, go ahead. Tell me what you want. Go ahead. I will listen to you. It's like you always do. Every time I say something, you always say something
back.
Okay,
hold on. Let me say something. Do you not think much of do you not think he's very smart?
I believe my son is very smart. My son is very intelligent.
Well, do you think he's kind of weak?
He's a good person.
Do you think he's kind of weak?
No, he never has been. He's never showed me he's weak. Well, that's why I don't understand why you want to get rid of your best friends. Why did you want him out of his best friend's life? What did you do to his best friend, Bobby?
What did you do to Bobby?
What did you do with your granddaughter? Why do you talk bad about my granddaughter?
Why is my granddaughter in your life? What were you saying to my daughter?
Why am I out of your life? What did I do horrific?
Because of your actions.
What is my actions?
Okay, time out. Time out. You can't. You hold on.
I'm sorry, but you know he's got to understand.
No. I'm trying to help you here, really, Betty.
I know you are.
Let me help you. Betty, Betty, over here.
Look at me, Tyson.
I'm a grown man. I can make my own decisions.
I know you are, but look
Do you
at
understand
me.
that?
I'm your mom.
And this is my wife, okay?
I'm your mom. That's it. I love you. I'm your mom. I wanted you in my life. I never wanted you out. I wanted to look for answers. Why didn't you like me?
From your whole
Why didn't you like me from the beginning?
Your whole family.
Oh, now my whole family, oh, I have a good family. You don't go there with my family because I have a good family.
Yeah, that we loved being a part
Betty?
of until you caused problems.
Betty?
Oh,
Betty?
you know, honey, you better think because I got family that's
Betty?
going to tell you different.
Betty? You can't believe this is working.
It's not working because they're the ones that are against me.
Okay,
I'm
well,
not
no,
against you
wait a
two.
minute. Listen,
How many
hold on.
times they
Oh,
tried,
Betty.
Tyson? I love you.
Okay, hold on a second. The truth is that you have been attacked in this as well, correct? Have you said unkind things about your mother-in-law?
In retaliation, yes, I have.
Have you said that mother-in-law drama is over, good riddance, you try to be homewrecker?
Yes, I have.
Have you said my mother-in-law has major issues, all I can say is seek help. I'd like to keep my wonderful husband and divorce my mother-in-law?
Yes, I did say that.
Did you yell you to her and hang up?
Yes, I did.
That's not constructive.
Out of the regrets, that's probably not the mature thing to do. What happened is 5 minutes into the conversation, she was screaming that I ruined her son's life. The worst mistake he ever did was go down my path, that he better not have a child with me, and I just hit my limit, and I screamed at her, and I hung up, and I haven't spoken to her since, and that was over a year ago.
And this had to do with the vasectomy reversal?
Yes, it did.
You did not want him to do that because you feel like he didn't want children. He had told you he didn't want children, so you think she's gotten in, corrupted his thinking, convinced him that he does want children, and therefore that's a bad thing. True? That's your opinion, which you're entitled to.
Why don't you ask him whose choice it was to have the reversal? I did not ask him for the reversal. He came to me wanting children.
Tell me what you want. What do you want them to do in their relationship with you? What would you like for them to do?
I want him back in my life. And that I didn't do that, Tyson. I go back and think, I was so busy trying to make a living for myself and take care of myself. I have never intruded in your life. You can honestly tell me, look at me and tell me, have I ever told you horrible things? No, I never.
Yes, you have.
No, you haven't.
Yes, you
Tyson,
have.
you're saying that because Melissa's here.
You left a voicemail on my phone
because
telling me that I was stupid, I'm making the wrong decision, that, you know,
I didn't say
having
you
the
said I was
reversal
stupid.
was bad.
You said I was stupid. You said, Mom, you're crazy.
Yeah,
Mom, you're stupid.
Yeah, it's because of
no,
what you...
I'm not crazy. I am totally in my right mind.
Okay, I think I'm going crazy.
I'm hurt, Tyson.
So I'm going to take a break, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to try to figure a way to steer this in some positive direction. If not, this is running way off the tracks. Yeah. We'll be right back.
Why do you hate me so much that you want my son to hate me? Why do you hate me, Melissa? Why, Melissa? Tell me the truth. Why?
And later...
Rosie is obsessed constantly talking about Daddy's will, Daddy's house, what's going to happen when you die.
I do feel like my sister has cheated me.
Friday on Dr. Phil. Are you passive or aggressive?
I get frustrated with people like this.
It's all about you.
Exactly.
Who's your perfect match?
There is one thing that she really needs to do.
Take the personality quiz and find out.
We did a little hidden camera test on this audience.
And see how we turn the tables on Dr. Phil.
This expert snooped in my office, and we're going to reveal what it said about my personality.
That's Friday. Then on Monday.
When Noah throws a tantrum, I feel like a failure of a mom.
What do you do if you have a child that acts like a brat?
Whether you have one holy terror or triplets.
Get up in that bed! Hush!
Why are you yelling all the time?
I don't think I yell all the time.
We have a lot of tape.
They're saying the blessing. Bow your head.
You can brat-proof your child.
You want to know the #1 thing you're doing to sabotage this child's future?
That's Monday.
She makes inappropriate comments like, ooh, if you weren't my son, and damn, you look good in those pants. She is freaking obsessed with him.
Okay, so your perception is that we have an Oedipal cat fight going on here. That this is a mother that is over-attached to her son.
It's ridiculous. I'm not the only person that sees that either.
And you think that it's creepy.
Very much so.
How do you feel about that?
You know, when they kind of said, hey, this is, you know, listen to what your mom's saying to you, it made sense. You know,
what has she said to you that creeped you out?
Well, just like the point was saying, hey, you know, this, if you weren't my son, I was like, man, you know, why would you say something like that to your own child?
When we,
you know?
Before we went to Jamaica, we lost a bunch of weight, and we took before and after pictures, and Tyson was in just shorts, and Betty came over, and we were showing, you know, look what we did. She would not turn the page off of that picture of him just in shorts, and she asked us for a copy of that picture, and Tyson's like, Mom, you're not getting a picture of me half naked, and she wanted that picture. Never.
Yes, you did.
You thought that was strange in what way?
Oh, my word.
It's strange, and it's like...
Oh, my word.
I don't know, it just... when she said that, it just kind of made me feel weird.
Okay.
My word, Tyson. I never seen a picture like that.
Yes, you did. Were going to
hell, no, Betty. I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Where?
It was at our house.
Oh, my word. Why do you hate me so much that you want my son to hate me? Why do you hate me, Melissa? Why, Melissa? Tell me the truth. Why? I'm sorry.
Are you going to hush so I can talk?
No. Why should I hush? Why should I hush? Maybe
you ask, whenever you ask a question, it's the polite thing to do to shut up and listen to the answer. That's the polite thing to do.
That?
Have I been interrupting you?
Do you do that?
Have I been interrupting you? I have been sitting here nice and polite.
All right, let me ask you something here. Are you going to listen to me, or are you going to sit there and think? I'm trying to help you, and if you don't want it, then I'll move on and talk to somebody else. I'm trying to help you here, but at some point, you got to stop talking and do at least a little bit of listening.
When they said that if they say something, Dr. Phil, listen, they said if I feel I'm being wronged, I need to prove that and show that.
I get it.
I'm not here to hurt anybody. I'm not here to look ridiculous with everybody. I'm sorry.
Listen, I do not think that you are an evil woman. You may think she's an evil woman, but I don't think that.
I just think she has issues.
You two have been married 2 years now?
Yes.
And do you plan to remain married?
Yes.
Are you happy in this marriage, Tyson?
Oh, most definitely, yeah.
Overall, would you say that you made the right choice when you married Melissa?
Oh, most definitely I did.
If you had it to do over again, would you marry her again?
Yes, I would.
And you had your vasectomy reversed?
Yes.
Was that the right thing to do?
Yes, it was.
Was that your decision to do?
That was my decision.
Did she encourage you to do that?
No.
And do you think that if you had that to do over again, you'd still get it reversed?
I'd still get it reversed.
Okay. And at this point, do you want to have a normal and relaxed and healthy relationship with your mother?
Yes, I would.
Would you like to have her in your life?
Yes, I would.
And you'd like to have her as a grandparent to children, and you would like to see things, Thanksgiving, Christmas, things being natural, normal, easy.
Yes, I would.
Okay. Are you open to that if the toxic nature of these interactions was to diminish and go away?
I have told Tyson the last year, at any given time, if you make up with your mom, you guys can go out to dinner, you can take her to the movies, you can do this, that. She's not, after all the horrible things, especially about me dying of MS, more or less, I said she is not welcome in our home. And my standpoint today, especially since she won't take ownership in any of this, is that they can have the relationship, and that's perfectly fine because they need to have a relationship. As for me, I do not wish a relationship with her. I would just like things to be civil.
All right, but you're okay if she has a relationship?
Oh, I've always said that.
You certainly think that she has been manipulative and negative with you, and she thinks you have been manipulative and negative with her. So you two are not going to be fast friends right now, correct? I mean, I hope at some point you could forgive one another and begin to build a new history and maybe start with some boundaries and and all, but at this point, I don't see that in the cards because there's so much unfinished emotional business here.
That she started.
And so much that she won't acknowledge.
You started it by saying one.
The first step would be for you to be acknowledge what you have done, Betty. And you sit there and
you need to acknowledge all the things you've said to certain people.
Every question that he asked, you said, I didn't say that, I didn't do that.
You've said a lot of things,
whenever he asked the questions, I said, yes, I said that, yes, I said that.
Okay, what is it you would like her to admit?
I'd like her to admit that she's the one that started the whole thing. She's the one that said she didn't like me. I never said I didn't like you. Where in the world did you get off thinking I didn't like you? Where did you think that? Where did you? Where did you
hear? I hate Betty.
I never said none of those things to you, Tyson. No, I didn't.
We'll be right back.
Honestly, Tyson, do you love your mom?
Yes, I do love my mom.
You come with your own conclusions about my thinking. You twist my thinking. You twist everything around to suit you, Melissa.
Betty?
I'm not twisting what to suit me, okay?
Betty?
All I know is where I am. I'm sorry.
You can have a relationship with your son, but it can't be based on the character assassination of his wife. That will never, ever work. And here's the thing. Maybe this relationship won't work, and maybe they'll get a divorce and she'll go away, but all signs point to no at this point. She reports being happy. He reports being happy. You don't give him much credit. I mean, I would think if you believe in your son, you would have the confidence in his ability to think for himself and to not be putty in the hands of this woman. I mean, give him some credit, right? I mean, he seems to me to be a very intelligent, articulate, and put together guy.
I will believe, I tell you, yes.
Well,
then believe me when I tell you that I'm happy.
And do you love your mom?
Yes, yes, I do.
Honestly,
I do,
Tyson, do you love your mom?
Yes, I do love my mom.
Do you respect my opinions?
Yes, I do.
I think you went too fast. You should have stopped and thought a little bit faster.
But the end
you
result,
wanted a baby right away.
You're happy.
Hold on.
See what I mean?
No,
I give up. I can't. You come with your own conclusions about my thinking. You twist my thinking. You twist everything around to suit you, Melissa.
Betty?
I'm not twisting what to suit me, okay?
Betty?
All I know is where I am. I'm sorry, but...
No, hang with me a minute here. You just expressed a lot of opinions there about him making decisions too fast and moving too fast and reversing his position, as well as his vasectomy and all, and you thought that, you just didn't think that was a good idea. But here's the thing. He's 37 years old. People make no, listen to me. Don't be thinking about what you're going to say next. Listen to me. People change. They make decisions. And he made a decision, and that's what being an adult is all about. Sometimes we see our children, we fix them at a young age, and we think of him as a little boy. He's not a little boy. And you know what? If this is the wrong thing for him, if she is the wrong thing for him, then he will suffer that consequence, and he will be fine. He will survive. He will go on. But he believes it's the right thing, and I don't suggest that you're the wrong decision in his life at all.
Third time's a charm.
This is a grown man, and you have to step back and let him be a grown man.
Tyson, can I ask a question?
You didn't hear a word
yes,
I said.
Did.
You can't think that fast. Before I'm finished with the last syllable of the last word, you're already engaged in a conversation with Tyson like I wasn't even here.
I heard you.
If the only things you're guilty of are the things you confess to, you've crossed a boundary. Forget the things you deny, take those off the table. Just the things you confess to crosses the boundary. I want you to take a deep breath, step back, and maybe right now you two can have a relationship. But if you have a relationship with your mother, and Tyson, I urge you, I implore you to try to find a basis for having a relationship with this woman. You need to help by establishing some boundaries. Spend time with her, but just don't talk about your marriage. That's off limits. I mean, maybe you talk about the weather first. Then maybe you talk about, you know, what's happening on television. Or maybe you talk about what was on Dr. Phil yesterday. Or you find safe things to talk about within these boundaries. And when you normalize, then maybe you begin to expand those fence lines. But right now, I want you to to have a relationship. Betty, I want you to have a relationship with your son. Respect some boundaries and allow that to happen. You don't need to be right. You just need to have a relationship with your son. That's all you want, correct?
I would want to.
Can we start a step at a time?
I just know that I know what I did and what I didn't do.
It's not important. It's not important. If you're a right fighter, that's important. If you want to have a relationship with your son, that's not really important right now. Okay, give your mom a hug here. She really needs a hug here. Okay, all right, up next, two sisters who have been fighting over their father's will for the last 20 years.
My sister Rosie was furious. Daddy left the house to me. I decided to go to court to settle this.
I do feel like my sister has cheated me.
I've got hate in my heart toward Rosie because nothing will satisfy her.
All right, look at this house. Now, Pat and her sister Rosie have been fighting for 20 years over who should get it, who should get this house. Now, Pat says their dad left it to her in his will, and she should be able to do with it as she sees fit. Well, her sister Rosie doesn't even almost agree. Take a look.
Rosie is obsessed constantly talking about Daddy's will, Daddy's house. What's going to happen when you die?
I do feel like my sister has cheated me.
Daddy left the house to me because he knew that I would take care of it.
My daddy wrote his will to say that Pat got the house first, and if something happens to her, the home comes to me.
I decided to go to court to settle this. Rosie was furious.
Patsy took me to court and had my name taken off my daddy's estate.
All I had to do was pay Rosie the $18,000 and the house would be mine.
My daddy wrote in his will, my daughter Patricia gets my house for herself to live in and rent as long as she lives. Then my home goes to my daughter Rosalie as long as she lives. The will also states that my sister's husband Hazen is not supposed to be in my father's shop or in the home, and it upsets me terribly that he lives there. My daddy stated in his will that the home stay in his bloodline and never be sold.
I'm almost to the point where I feel like I've got hate in my heart toward Rosie because she keeps bringing this up. Nothing will satisfy her, and she just cannot get over it.
Let me have a go at this just commonsensically here. The will left the house to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and it said that you were to pay her $18,000 and then you would get clear title to the house.
Yes, sir.
We agree with that part?
Yes.
Okay. Did you do that?
Yes, sir.
Did you pay her the $18,000?
Yes.
Did you get clear title to the house?
Yes.
All right, thank you all for coming. I mean, seriously, I mean, isn't it game over? What?
My daddy did not want it to go to her husband and her son.
Well, but when he says pay you $18,000 and she gets clear title, once you own something, you own it. You can burn it down if you want to.
Well, then she'll just have to do what she wants to.
But you want something from her.
I want it in paper like my daddy wanted it, that it will go in his bloodline. That's what he wanted.
Well, she owns it.
Well, she'll just have to do what she wants to with it then.
But you want a writing from her that says when she dies that you get the house.
Or if I die first, it's supposed to go to my daughter, not her husband and Jay. That's why he left it that way. He paid $36,000 for the home. That's why I got 18, and I paid for my daddy's funeral. And that's why I got so little, because it is supposed to come back to me and go to my daughter and her two children.
How long y'all been arguing about this before he passed away?
None.
Well, you knew about the will before that, right?
Yes.
But you weren't happy about the will?
I'm fine with the will.
He didn't say he didn't want him up. He said he didn't want his son-in-law in his shop.
But he is in the shop, driving his car.
He didn't want him using his tools?
He just didn't like him, period.
Yeah.
And it upsets me.
Well, let's hear what your husband has to say about this.
When Pat's dad died, that's when the feud really began. Rosie has never gotten over her dad leaving Pat the house. She can't accept the way things are. Rosie accused Pat cutting her out of the will, and that's nowhere near the truth. When the father passed away, the copy of the will was given to Rose. She went off, having a fit, and I told Pat to give her $40,000 for half of the value of the house, and she cussed Pat out and told her that there was no way that she was going to be ripped off. Rosie likes to go on about my father-in-law not liking me. I didn't have problems with him. Rosie gets a thrill out of causing problems. It's been going on for 20 years, and it's got to stop. I hope Dr. Phil can get them straightened out.
I got to take a break. Then I've got some questions for you to try to get to the bottom of this. And I want to know how you at home handle these difficult relatives. So you can go to my Facebook page right now. You can share your stories on how you deal with family members that you don't see eye to eye with. I'm interested in hearing this because, unfortunately, it's not an isolated problem, particularly in tough economic times. So the question is, what should happen here? And is it worth breaking up this relationship between sisters? I say no. I'll be curious what they say when we come back.
Pat deliberately kept me in the dark when it came to settling my daddy's affairs. I really do think my sister got money from a life insurance policy and kept it all and did not share it with me. I would have never treated my sister like she did me.
Did you steal money from her?
No, sir, I haven't stolen anything from anyone.
I have a fine lawyer here today. Areva Martin is with us. Say hello to Areva.
Hi, hello.
She is a civil and family attorney. Areva, help me out here. I mean, this seems to me to be a really good example of why you need to get a lawyer, because this will, which was just written out by your father.
Yes, sir.
He didn't get a lawyer. He just wrote all this out.
Yes, sir.
And it contradicts itself top, side, and bottom. It's full of inconsistencies, and one thing kills another. What do you think about all this?
Yeah, Dr. Phil, classic problem with this will. In the first part of the will, he clearly is giving Pat the house in exchange for her paying $18,000 to Rosalie. But then the will goes on to talk about basically a life estate. He wants this property to stay in the family. He wants Pat to live in it first, and then he wants Rosalie to live in it. Then he wants Rosalie's daughter, Michelle, to live in it, and her grandchildren to live in it. So Dad had a couple of things that he wanted to accomplish in this will, but they're conflicting things. And without a lawyer looking at it and telling him what he could and couldn't do, he created now what is essentially a mess. And we see this happen a lot with inheritances. And Pat went to court. And she got a court order that said that the house was hers if she paid the $18,000. And we heard her say that she did that. So now she's the legal owner of the house. So her husband, who Dad didn't want to have anything to do with the house, he now has rights to the house because he's married to Pat. And Pat's child, that's also not in this will, can be an heir to this home because now the home belongs to Pat. So unfortunately, Dad's wishes about Rosalie and Michelle mean nothing.
You really want to write your sister off over a 50-year-old house?
It's not.
And if you live to be, it would be like 70 years old by the time either one of you are likely to pass, hopefully.
Right.
It's going to be inconsequential.
It's not got anything to do with that house. It's
Apparently it does.
No, it's due to respect to our daddy.
You two have got your priorities all wrong. Here, you're talking about what your daddy intended. He wrote a handwritten will 10 years before his death. Things change. People evolve. Another child comes into the picture. I mean, who knows? I mean, that's why it's so important that we go to lawyers, we make our wills clear, we make them enforceable, we update them at significant times in our life. You never know when you're going to pass.
That's right.
Listen, I don't know what your daddy intended or didn't intend, but I am pretty certain he did not intend to write an instrument that would divide and fracture his family for the rest of their lives. I'm pretty sure that's not what he wanted. So if you're so interested in honoring your father's memory and his wishes, then don't leave his legacy being that his family was fractured and divided because of something that he did that was ill-advised from a legal standpoint. We're not talking about enough money here to make, this isn't like Buckingham Palace with billions of dollars.
That's right. That's exactly right.
We're talking about a house that probably won't even be in existence when the two of you pass, I hope. And do you think this is what he wanted, that he wanted the two of you to be at odds with each other, that he wanted to do something where you wound up saying, I am done with my sister? That's not what your father wanted. If you're sensitive to him, take it from a father. That would be the worst legacy I could ever leave my children, is do something that would divide them. Take it from a father. I'm trying to give you some advice here. Take this. As a father, I have 2 children. If I did anything that in my passing caused them to no longer be best friends, to no longer support each other, to no longer to be in each other's balcony, cheering the other on in their lives, I would never rest easy a day of eternity if I'd known I had done that. Don't make that your father's legacy here. Close this gap up. Close this gap up. We'll be right back. We got to go. Areva, people need to get a lawyer when it's time to plan their estate. I mean, it costs a little bit of money, but it can save all kinds of problems.
Lots of headaches, Dr. Phil. And you are so correct in terms of get a lawyer when you start and update your will, because what we just saw was a will that was 10 years old, and clearly this father's wishes had changed. And only if he had had a chance to make those changes, I don't think we'd see the fight that we saw here today.
Areva, thank you. Thanks for being here. So long.